Maybe I can actually stream now. I don't know. Let's just pray for the best here and see what happens.
I managed to obtain the artifact from Lord Palladius.
And you gained your own cult in the process, or so I hear. You are quickly becoming quite the cunning Sith.
Meanwhile...
Flesh of my flesh, listen to me.
What? I'm tired.
I cannot linger long. It takes too much out of me to appear here, but I must warn you. Your master, Darth Zash, is plotting something. Whatever it is can mean nothing good for you.
Zash would never hurt me.
You are naive. I have seen Zash making her preparations. She's taken 2 new apprentices, a boy named Carl and a girl named Corin. She's been sending them into the Dark Temple, presumably to confirm that I am gone.
I hope you killed them.
I considered killing these intruders, but I heard them speak of Zash and her desire that the chamber be secure for her work. Soon enough, Zash herself appeared. She comes every day now, studying the place and performing rituals. You are in danger.
What kind of rituals?
Minor ones. Preparations for something bigger. Zash knows your weaknesses. You must prepare yourself. An enterprising Sith Lord on Korriban has uncovered a piece of my old armor, my mask. It will protect you against Zash's onslaught. The Sith Lord's compound overlooks the tombs. Go, claim it. Guard yourself against Zash's attack.
I am most grateful.
I cannot guarantee when I will be able to speak with you again. As I said, it is difficult for me to visit you. But I will continue to watch over my chamber in the temple, conserving my energy for when I learn something more.
Well, I'll never sleep again. Head to Korriban. While we're on the way there, some of you are probably wondering what the hell the delay was, because me being a little bit late is oh no. Oh no. Okay, we're okay. Is semi-normal? We won't get to it today, Triaxia. But that's just because I tend to prioritize being ready for stream over being on time for stream. But half an hour is pretty delayed, even by my standards. So I'm sitting here, fully in uniform, ready to go. Everything's cool. And at about 1 minute to stream time, the internet goes out. Nothing on my end, as usual. Just the internet going out. So it's like, okay. So I just sat here, fully in uniform, ready to go. And I came back and I'm like, sweet. Start getting everything lined up. And it goes right back out again. That happened 3 times. Anyways, good morning, everyone. Let's see who we got today here. Blade Traval, J. Palmer, Giga Pudding, who, I don't know if you know this, I'm not actually Evo. Ect, Warp Core, J. Palmer, Zach Taft, Mike Romano, Mr. Red, Shadow Machine, Latario, Don Crow, Dr. Winter, Mike Romano, I already said that. And it looks like that's it. Yeah, so that was the delay. That was also why the stream thing wasn't updated properly, because apparently it decided not to update that during one of those windows of connectivity. Hypothetically, it should actually be updated now. The internet's alignment, pure dark side. Like, pure evil. Just evil. Just evil. I don't even have Comcast anymore. Imagine if I did, that'd be even worse. So yeah, for those of you not aware of where we're at in the overall progress of Act 1, we're currently going to go to doing this little side quest. There's several side quests for the Inquisitor. Almost always to Korriban. And then we're going to hit Tatooine. That's going to take most of today. Then we're going to hit Alderaan. That will take the rest of today. And it is very likely we will not actually finish those 2 planets today. If we do, that'll be really impressive, honestly. Comcast is an internet provider company, or perhaps more accurately, an internet fail-to-provider company. It is an interesting question, because you might say, well, who's the worst internet provider in the United States? And the fact that that's a question which we have to debate really says all it needs to, I think. See, they're all bad. Just all of them are bad. Comcast is pretty bad. And no, since I actually fear for the safety of my channel, I will not even be acknowledging such things, Act. Why are you not? There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, it really is not a joke that 2K Games or Take-Two Interactive, I always forget which one is the parent company, is horrifically legal happy, threat happy. They're litigious. And they like to just absolutely come after people and ruin their lives for minor infractions, so...
Here, I thought the Sith were above petty burglary. I wonder what your master would think if she knew you were breaking and entering. Or did she, by chance, send you on this little errand?
It's really not your business.
It's my compound. It's my business. Your master and I hardly see eye to eye, but this isn't her style. Too much risk of getting caught, too little reward. It has all the marks of an apprentice. When Darth Thanaton learns of this, you will be punished.
Who is going to tell him once you're dead?
You do talk big, don't you? Go on, then. Let's see what you've got.
Can we fight now, please? I got stuff to do.
Goodbye, Lord Crucis. And thank you for the artifact.
Ah!
Alright. Now let's get the crap hell out of here. Head to Tatooine. I am, yes, Act. I have no opinion of that. I can't possibly care less at this point in
Apprentice,
life.
I know you are very busy, but I must speak with you. I have just had the most amazing dream, and it concerns you.
Can't get me out of your head, can you?
In the dream, I could see the power of the Force coursing through you. Armies of Jedi rose in your path and fell before you. It's the artifact. It must be. The artifact will give you this power.
Are you sure it wasn't just something you ate?
Only certain individuals, it seems, are properly attuned to the ritual the artifacts describe. I believe the remaining artifacts are on Tatooine and Alderaan. You must hurry and find them. The artifacts are the key to fulfilling your destiny.
You know, I like how Zash keeps buttering us up. Especially since it's so obvious she's doing so. Put this down here. Like, she very clearly is just trying to be like, yes, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing and working for me and not plotting against me. Just keep on keeping on. Everything's cool. Now to talk to Kimball. Oh, I typed it wrong.
I see you've made it to Tatooine. Not the most luxurious destination, but trust me, the artifact is close. You'll need to find the pirate Andronicos Revel. He should be quite familiar with this piece.
Do you mean he has the artifact?
Quite the contrary. He stole the artifact out of some Sith ruins, but when his crew mutinied, they took it. I sent a cruiser to recover the artifact, but all they found was Andronicos in an escape pod, half mad. We let him stew for a while in Imperial prison, and then released him. He's been hunting his crew down ever since, and we've been watching.
Does this Andronicus know you're using him to get to the artifact?
Does it matter? He gets what he wants, revenge, and you and I get what we want, the artifact. He's never lingered longer than it takes to kill, but Tatooine is different. It's been weeks. I believe Andronicos has found the leader of the mutiny, and with him the artifact. Find Andronicos and you'll find a clear course.
As you say.
Andronicos must have come through the spaceport at some point. Start with the shipmaster. Good luck, apprentice. And remember, every piece draws you closer to your full potential.
You know, it occurs to me. Someone who had played the Jedi side first might not even notice how much she's buttering us up. Might just think it's normal. After all, we are super amazing, as we all know.
Warpain's Brigan Iswis
Don't
Buidan.
mock the cruelty of my fate. Leave me to my peace.
I'm sorry you're upset. Mind telling me why?
Inai
After our
Aftwan
last conversation, I began to wonder what became of my rival and ally. That is how I found this. A Jedi record of a stasis chamber they uncovered. Like the one you found me in. They say the creature inside was killed.
This creature could have been anybody, right?
My kind have always been a few outside your homeworld of group. Your suggestion is possible, but not likely. If I were free, I would hunt those Jedi relentlessly and feast on my revenge. As is, my only choice is to laugh at my own powerlessness. Yep, keep doing that, Kim. You piece of crap. So who do I think was more affected by the loss of Jason? Bats or Ethan Mars in Heavy Rain? Well, Bats never seemed to care, really, so I'm going to go with Ethan Mars. I believe the dark side is not evil, the light side is not good. Correct. In that case, can you name a Force user drenched in the dark side who is a good person? No. Just like I can't say a Force user who is drenched in the light side who I would consider to be a good person either. Well, meaning, sure. Misguided? Absolutely. Idiot? No question. But good? Nah. Do you have any thoughts on the EVGA situation? Yeah, we're finally on the desert, so... I don't have any thoughts on the EVG situation. That's the problem. There's such an absence of information, it's bizarre. If you actually came up to me and said, hey, Laura, I discovered that EVGA... what's that person doing? That EVGA had a wacky adventure and was being held blackmail in order to leave the video game market, or the video card market, excuse me. I would say, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because that's about how much logic that actually makes in reasonability.
Have you heard of a pirate named Andronicus Revel?
Pirate? I don't consort with those types. Bad for business.
Tatooine's
Tatooine's not much of a place, but it's best to keep your nose clean anyway.
I don't like it when people lie to me.
Alright. So maybe Revel did come through here.
You
You don't want anything to do with that guy. Believe me.
That's hardly your call.
Okay, Ashir shows up every now and again at the canteen in Masila. But I'm warning you, the guy's crazy. You don't talk to nobody, don't drink anything stronger than water. That's crazy. The only reason Reg, the canteen owner, don't kick him out is because he's scared to death of him, but you didn't hear it from me. Yoda... I would never call Yoda evil, but I don't think I could call Yoda a good person. Yoda's actually far more neutral, I would say, than many of the Jedi. Which actually tends to be in his favor, but morally speaking. But I still stand by it.
Welcome to Tatooine, all of you. If you hold a moment, I can provide directions to the research center.
I wasn't aware of any research center.
You're... sorry, my error. Much of the Imperial traffic we get is assigned to the archaeological expedition. Security, scientific equipment. They don't tell me what it's for. If you're going to be here long, you might wish to speak to Captain Gola. Ensure that our operations don't overlap.
I'll pay your captain a visit.
These are the center's coordinates. I'll alert them that you may be coming.
I'm trying to decide what I think of Orcano's latest outfit. We'll see in a bit. Tatooine is controlled by the Imperium, as it should be. As all things should be. Yeah, exactly, Orcano. Like, again, I would never call Yoda evil. Let's be very clear about that, because some people think when I say stuff like that, I mean, oh, they're pure evil, but no, that's not what I mean. Yeah, I need to see Giga's new spinny blades at some point. I can't even see that conversation. Let's see if I can remember. I had trouble remembering where it was last time, too. I want to say it was somewhere up here. I was going to say, you flip your head around too fast, Orcano. No, this looks wrong. This all looks wrong. Where the hell was it? Hang on. Again, this amuses me because I had this exact same problem last time. I know it's inside somewhere. Nope. Why is a bureaucrat watching a dancer dancing on the sand in front of a disabled protocol droid? Sounds like the beginning of a joke. This is a crossroads act, politically, economically, and literally. A lot goes through Tatooine. Although, ironically, not much would if the Empire took over. Nope, this still isn't it. Well, I'll allow this to happen while I continue to look at these.
My lord, I'm sorry for whatever business brings you to this worthless wasteland. You interested in striking a blow against the exchange? Sooner the Empire tightens the noose, the sooner most of us can ship home. Gangsters are smuggling our explosives out of Mos Ila, selling them to the Republic. We need to show them it's a bad idea.
What's the situation?
The exchange has been hiding their haul in back alleys until they consolidate for a big shipment. We need our explosives back, and we need to find out who's running their operation. If you'll help, I'll get you locations for all suspected stashes. But be careful. We've already lost good soldiers to the exchange guards.
I'll handle anything that dares to get in my way.
If any of their men attack, search them. They must have a base, a way to communicate. Retrieving the explosives is important, but we must get to their leaders to stop this problem for good.
I would say this place is more literally compared to Constantinople than anything else. You know, back in the day.
Keela, I need those water readings. We won't get more supplies without a report.
Sorry, sir. I'll check as soon as I can. Sand in the gauges.
Blast. Bring in some local technicians. See if they can fix us up while I greet our guests. Captain Bardengola, Imperial Reclamation Service. I've run excavations on Zeost, Malachor II, and Nimdrovis. But add a little heat and dust and we've got nothing but trouble.
Your man at the spaceport said this was a research center.
Not exactly up to standard, but yes, Mos Ela is our base of operations.
Why, Captain, you should have alerted me. You know I enjoy guests. Captain Golar and his crew report to me. I am Darth Silthar. They are my hands, digging and scraping where I cannot. We came to Tatooine to solve a mystery, one of dead men and desert secrets. Not for conquest, but for power.
What could the Empire possibly need on this dust ball?
I, too, once viewed this world as insignificant. No longer. The Empire recently found a damaged shuttle drifting through deep space. It came from a Zerka Corporation research base on Tatooine.
Zerka had Tatooinian artifacts they claimed were the find of the millennium. Mystery devices with the energy throughput of a sun. But a month after the shuttle launch, their research base disappeared. Zerka never came back.
Somewhere in this wasteland is power enough to destroy a world, remake a galaxy. My team is going to find the Zerka base and these artifacts along with it. We will learn their secrets. Will you join us?
Why would you want me to join you?
Because I sense power in you. And I have need of such power. Now, scattered across the desert, sheltered within caves, live a people called the Sons of Palawa. They are an exacting and ritualistic tribe, come to Tatooine to test themselves against the elements. A settlement nearby has something we need.
Test themselves how?
They pound their fists into sand, drill for water instead of using vaporators, what you'd expect.
Most importantly, the Sons of Palawa possess a clue to Zerka's fate. What did you call them, Captain?
Experimental battle droids, armed with turbo lasers, shields, and who knows what else.
Zerka droids, no doubt rebuilt by the Sons of Palawa. And the tribals are not inclined to share.
Perhaps we can negotiate an exchange.
After the Empire took Mos Ela, the Sons of Palawa decided we were invaders. They'll shoot anyone who gets close.
But why should that stop you? If the droids truly are from Zerka, I want their secrets. Dissect them, peel the droids' armor, and bring the captain their Verba brains. Then they will lead us to the missing Zerka base.
I'm sorry, turbo lasers on droids. Hell, turbo lasers on any standing battery. One of the planets we saw earlier, I think it was Balmora, actually showed off what a turbo laser looks like. It had to be mounted on top of a building and had power cables that were bigger than I am. Ha! This is it. This is it right here. Yes! At last! Sorry. Behold! Darth Puppies! Okay, I'm gonna explain this very briefly, for those of you who haven't seen this before. I forget when I first saw this guy, but I was going through something, and when I was streaming this the first time, and he's just sitting here doing the animation over and over. He's also got quite a bit of dark side corruption on his face. And so he's just sitting like, yes, puppies, dead puppies. And he just sits there thinking about dead puppies over and over and over to keep himself immersed in the dark side. So he has forevermore been named Darth Puppies. And now he's dead. Okay, so now that we've canonically lightninged him. And every time I come here, I always forget where he is. Because I know it's forward and to the left, but I always go a little bit too far. Okay, so. Now that we've met Darth Puppies, we can progress. Ah. Yeah, Darth Puppies is just out there thinking about dead puppies. All the time. Yes, yes.
Come on, don't be shy. Get up there.
I'm looking for a pirate named Andronicos Ravel.
Look, even if I knew him, I wouldn't tell you where he is. Customers don't like a bartender who blabs. Not that I listen anyway. Look, Sith, this is a peaceful establishment. We don't have trouble. Buy a drink. Enjoy yourself, but don't start nothing.
I won't start anything if you tell me what I want to know.
You're not going to let this thing go, are you? Last time, Sith, I don't know the fella. I never heard of him. Now, is there anything else I can do for you, or can I get some peace?
Tell me where Andronicos Ravel is.
Right. You wanna know where he is? I'll tell you, just don't ever do that again. I might get my intestines ripped out in the middle of the night, but I can't stand pain.
I'll make sure Andronicos doesn't find out you told.
He keeps a room upstairs, likes his privacy, and pays me to not let on that he's there. Of course, it helps the time he caught someone telling him on one of the exchange gang, he blew their brains out. Bug him at your own risk. But if he's up in his room, usually means he doesn't want to be bothered. Very well. You're not supposed to dance on the table. Okay, whatever. I've always liked the idea, this is pure headcanon, that Force Lightning isn't actually a bunch of electricity damage. That instead it's just feeding on their energy, their life, in order to cause them pain. Or kill them.
Andronicos Ravel, I believe you have the artifact I'm looking for.
Webb, folks aren't supposed to know I'm here.
I'm sorry, Andronicos. It was that damn bartender.
Take care of it.
By the way, hi, Blum.
Now, Sith, your artifact. I don't have it, and I'm glad. Thing drove my crew insane. They mutinied. I floated 10 days in a disabled escape pod and spent 30 more in Imperial lockup on account of that hunk of rock.
Convenient excuse for failure.
I know what I saw, Sith, but I won't stop you from going after that rock if you want it. The guy who has your artifact is the guy I'm on Tatooine to kill. Silas Wilkes. My old first mate. He started the mutiny, then tossed me into space. Now he's an exchange big shot. He's got your Sith toy.
Perhaps a partnership is in order.
Glad you see it that way. It'll take both of us to get Wilkes. I've been chasing Wilkes halfway across the galaxy. Stole my favorite blasters, not to mention my pride. Lucky thing I got a contact inside the exchange. Only I can't exactly just stroll into the exchange base.
The exchange doesn't scare me.
They don't scare me either. Only I can't shoot lightning from my fingertips. Contact's name is Casey Ricks, old friend who used to be part of my crew. But she, doesn't exactly know I'm here. She's sure to know where Wilkes is hiding. Tell her you know me, and she'll tell you everything.
Consider it done.
You get that information, you can do what you want with it. But I'd appreciate it if you came back here first. Me and Wilkes are long overdue for a talk.
I mean, the idea that it's literally shooting lightning is probably the most likely canon explanation. It's just, I find that extremely boring, so... Out the window it goes.
切り紙メモ
Because, let's be honest, the reason that it's lightning is because that was the effect they were able to do with the technology of the times when they were making Return of the Jedi, and then everyone else just kind of copied that. Oh, absolutely, Valvatrix. Yeah, you probably literally have heard Blum and not realized it's him. The man has extraordinary range, and you never get to hear it. Because everyone's like, hey, do your Blum voice. All right. Questions. Biggest fear regarding GTA 6. Biggest fear is that it'll be GTA Online 2. Which it will, by the way. So, fear realized. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to stick with that. That's probably the biggest fear. See, that leads into the fears that aren't fear number 2, 3, or 8, or 17. Oh my god, that's a lot of lightsabers. Or blades? I'm not actually sure what those are. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, we actually kind of changed around our spec a little bit off camera, so we'll see how this works out a little bit. We're poking at madness a bit more. I actually recognize this ability. You know what's really sad to me personally? I actually have no respect for the fact that GTA Online has managed what it has for as long as it has. Explaining why would probably take a minute, but the long and the short of it is GTA Online is one of the most horrific and terrible things to ever happen to gaming, and I mean that with actual sincerity. What am I doing here? Oh, this thing. Oop. Oh no, it's some smugglers. That's an interesting sentence loaner. I'm curious where it's coming from. Oh yeah, kids play GTA Online. Quite a bit, actually. Now, I haven't looked at these figures in literally 2 years, but back when I did look into the GTA Online a bit more, the primary age range of people who played was 10 to 18, or rather 10 to 17. Let's see. This is from Super Mario Galaxy, if that helps. So the summary of why I consider GTA Online to be one of the worst things in video gaming is entirely on the financial side of things. It's the same problem that Candy Crush introduced to the universe. The idea of that kind of, how do I put this nicely, crap, generating money and being a big deal was something that was theoretical for years, but they proved the model, and a lot of other companies have been trying to play bandwagon ever since. Do you know how many executives salivate at the idea of making GTA Online money? Are you in combat, Giga? Never mind.
Your smuggling ring is broken. Here's everything I could salvage.
Excellent. I was hoping that was you I was hearing about. The local authorities have been all in a dither about an unprovoked massacre of suspected exchange members. I hope this compensates you sufficiently for your time.
There's also a little bit of financial escalation going on, too. Because other companies can't make the kind of money that GTA Online does. So, can they do? Well, they can try to do worse things to squeeze more money out of less people, leading to worse practices, leading to standardization and normalization, leading to worse practice, leading to standardization and normalization. Hang on. Sorry, I had some garbage in my mouth there. Anyways, I didn't say thank you to Loner earlier. Thank you, Loner. I will put that towards Deus Ex revisions. I'm not 100% sure what that is or if it's on the list, but I believe you. Sure.
Criminals and vagabonds. Everywhere on Tatooine, the Empire's great works are besieged by criminals and vagabonds.
Major Veer, sir, you have a guest.
My lord, such an unexpected pleasure. Guided to this backwards province to bring order and discipline, no doubt?
Bring me up to speed.
As I was just explaining to the lazy sots in my command, the Exchange Crime Syndicate is flagrantly defying the Empire's directives. They're banned by Imperial law, yet they've given refuge here to dozens of murderers, spice dealers. They've even started processing spice outside Mos Illa. And yet my men refuse to act.
But sir, we lost 15 men in our last attempt.
Quiet! I am well versed in this company's many failures. Clearly, I must turn elsewhere to see Imperial law restored.
All right. Tell me what to do.
The job is simple. The spice processing operation outside Mos Illa must be completely obliterated, and its guards killed as a lesson. With their men dead and machinery destroyed, the message will be clear. I look forward to seeing you when it is done.
And thank you, SDR. Always appreciate those subs. Thank you. I will put that towards XCOM 2. I don't think I agree with that, Loner, but I'll also admit I don't really have any evidence for or against it. So I'm just going to shrug on that point. I have to admit, I'm a little biased because I probably would have committed suicide if WoW didn't exist, so hard to kind of overcome that one. Next question. Is it just me or female Twi'lek ears look weird with the bumps? Oh, I love female Twi'lek ears. Especially since they're not actually ears. Actually, no, Act.
Casey Ricks? Andronicos sent me. He said you know where to find Silas Wilkes.
Andronicos? You mean he's out of prison? He doing all right? And he's after Wilkes. Figures. Andronicos doesn't really forgive or forget. Hey, you're not planning to harm him, are you?
Andronicos?
It won't be your fault if something happens to him.
Not.
I guess that's the best I'm gonna get from you, huh? I'll tell you where to find that son of a hut. In fact, I'll make sure he's there so you can kill him. Wilkes' base is hidden out of Ether's view. Andronicos will know what I mean.
Out of Ether's view. I think I can remember that.
Good. Let me call Wilkes. Make sure he stays put. It'd be a shame for you to storm HQ while he's out.
I appreciate your help.
Watch me work.
Casey, sweetheart, got something to report? Andronicos hasn't turned up, has he?
Oh, sigh. What do I have to do to make you stop worrying about Andronicos?
Well, I could think of a few things. Have you reconsidered my offer?
That's why I called. Are you free in, say, a couple of hours? We could talk about it. In person.
I always have time for you. I'll be right here, sweetheart, whenever you're ready.
Ugh, I hate that guy. Andronicos never went for that eyelash batting junk, but Wilkes is there, so hurry up and kill him.
I found that whole exchange deeply disturbing.
It's not as bad as it looks. A little goes a long way with Wilkes' brand of self-love. But I won't shed any tears when he's gone, to say the least.
That old saying? Never trust a beautiful woman who's interested in you. I've actually heard of it, Professor Iago. Obviously, I haven't seen it. Otherwise, I would have probably mentioned it. But... it's kind of interesting how many... well, excuse me, how few stories there are about that kind of character. If there's a beautiful man who's interested in me, then I need to immediately kill them. Just right there, no hesitation. North. If he's offering donuts, it's a double trap. We all know what a double trap means. I don't know what this is. If he has good hips, it's a triple trap. I might take the donuts, but see, I'm not that stupid. That's just a heal? I just stole this person's water to heal myself. Wow. Anyways. Yeah, let me pull up the question queue while I'm roaming here. Does part of my dislike of Kim come from being a tsundere without proper voice acting? So let's edit that sentence a little bit. Does part of my dislike of Kim come from his voice acting? Yes. But I will also say that that's not it, obviously. Most of my dislike of Kim comes across as just... I hate his character. I hate how he won't shut up about Tulak Horde. I hate how he's our token evil party member as the Sith Inquisitor. I hate how much of a punk he is early on. I hate how much he just... We'll talk more about it later. I don't want to spoil too much of his character arc, but... I hate him! Top to bottom. I can't wait to be rid of him forever at some point in my future. I don't like rudeness, Doncro. I never have. You want to be rude? Well, that's tough. Because then you're going to get zapped by lightning. I will take a polite person who's trying to kill me over a rude person who's my ally. Because the polite person I can just kill. But the rude person, well, I'm going to have trouble justifying killing that person. I'm still going to kill them, obviously, for being rude, but, you know. People are like, oh my god, you killed your ally. I was like, yeah, but he was being a dick, so. Suck him. Sucks to be him. I don't know how I truncated that. Yay, we did it. Oh god. Oh, no, we're okay. Anyways, so, how many companies in real life would be as bad or worse than Circa if they had galactic skill influence? Yes. How would you feel? Okay, real talk. Like, actual real talk for a second. How many of you have ever seen, Office Space? Office Space. Name of a movie. Came out in the 90s. It was designed to be a parody that makes fun of how awful office life is. Working at a cube farm, basically.
I am Frere Wan, of the Sons of Palawa. You have won this battle, and I call for parley. You've brutalized our keepings. Tell us why our wives and children weep, so that this feud may be honorable.
Your battle droids had data I required.
Then you fight for resources. There are worse causes. We know about the Empire's expedition. Whatever you're after, you won't find it. The desert protects its own. And though we can't keep you from departing, beware Tatooine, and beware our vengeance. You've made an enemy today.
You won't survive long enough to get revenge.
And your bloodlust will lead to your death.
Okay. Enjoy dying. So, here's the thing with Office Space. How many of you have worked in an office job sometime in the last few years and have also seen Office Space? You don't like the spinny blade thing, Blade Jamal? I like the spinny blade thing. Now, I want to stress that what I'm about to say is neither clickbait, nor a meme, nor intended to shock, nor any other usual garbage you tend to see on the internet. Office Space, the job in the office that they have presented there, is substantially better than what we have in real-life offices now. Obviously, that varies from outlet to outlet and company to company, but there's a lot of specific things that I could point to that are considered required by modern offices that are not even considered in the course of that film. For example, how many of you have been forced to work unpaid overtime or even paid overtime, forced to do additional work on the weekend, for example? Hang on, I could go one step deeper than that. How many of you have had to answer a call or an email which has nothing to do with overtime, so obviously it doesn't get tracked as paid time? Just a quick thing while you're off hours. How many of you actually remember when you used to have some kind of privacy space when it comes to your job, as opposed to being stuck in an open-air office? Which is a plague on humanity, by the way.
Look sharp, men. This is what success looks like. An entire exchange operation crushed like an insect. May your accomplishment inspire them to do their own jobs half as well.
Next time, do it yourself.
I will do what I can with what I'm given. Our Empire's standing will be much improved thanks to your work. Farewell.
I could point to other specific points. But what I'm trying to say is that what they were trying to show as a parody of awful office life in that film has already been surpassed by everyday real life. And I know that's a commonality, that's something that just happens, but I bring it up because it's in direct relation to the question, which companies would be worse than Zerka? Which, that's why the answer is yes. How do I feel about Jack being the next protag in RDR3? I've already said this, so I'm going to say this again. I think RDR3 should go further back, not further forwards. The Western Age died in RDR1. It was, in fact, one of the major... Whoops. I'll go here first. One of the major thematic points of RDR1 was that the West was dead, and people needed to move on to the new era. I mean, the Old West in real life was an extremely short period of time, so that tracks.
What's wrong, Hale? I can sense your fear.
Sorry, my lord. I'm remembering that time on Ziost, when I was buried alive.
That's good. Use that fear, Hale. Let it push you. Ah, did you bring us the droid mines?
Yes, use your fear.
I obtained the parts, but it riled up the tribals.
That is of no concern. The sons of Palawa will not trouble us. I sense we'll do incredible things together. Zerka's discovery is out there somewhere, sending ripples through the Force.
Let's get the vertebrains analyzed, my lord. Keela.
Memory wipe destroyed the old files, but it looks like the Sons of Palawa bought the droids from Jawas.
All right. Guess that makes the Jawas our next lead to the Zerka base.
Would the Jawas trade with the Sons?
They'll sell their goods to anyone. Mos Ela was originally their trading post.
The Jawas are one of the native species, primitive masters of machinery.
They swarm like rats during the trade season, selling droid parts and generators. Then it's back to the desert.
In my dreams, I see one band that remains in the wastes near this city. Find them. I must meditate.
Yes, my lord.
You may go.
Show the vertebrains to the Jawas. See if they can't identify the source. They won't have records, but they're clever. Good hunting. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay cautious.
GTA 6, Rama, not 5. But yes and no, respectively. There. Whoever asked about the list being updated, the list is now up to date. I did it during the cutscenes. Let's see here. Thoughts on the Ghost in the Shell live-action movie? Haven't seen it. Not a big fan of Ghost in the Shell in general, so I'm the wrong person to ask.
Tell Reg I can't have any more slip-ups. Wilkes finds out I'm here, it'll be like Roussan all over again.
Yes, Andronicos. Whatever you say.
Go.
No, I'm not romancing him, don't ask.
Time, Sith. This room's feeling a lot like that escape pod. Make me happy. Tell me you found Wilkes.
Casey said Wilkes was out of Ether's view.
Out of Ether's view, huh? Spineless son of a Hutt is hiding underground.
Wilkes is a dead man.
There's a system of caves on the other side of the abandoned farm settlement. I wager that's what Casey meant.
How do we get there?
Looks like she put something else on this datapad. I think I can crack it. Looks like it's an access code. Something we'll need to get into this hidden HQ, probably.
Looks like it could come in handy.
I'm gonna blast Wilkes for every day I spent floating in that escape pod. And then I'm gonna stomp on his bones.
You're probably gonna need some new boots for that. Bones are actually pretty tough. I know you've been playing a lot of Dead Space. Never mind. If there's no maker in Dragon Age, then who or what was Andraste? I feel like I already answered that, but to repeat myself, she was someone who was the leader of a slave rebellion who thought that they needed to have a fairly large amount of central identity in order to attack their slave rebellion on. The political casus belli, the cultural casus belli to go along with their political rebellion in order to usurp the Tevinter and blah, 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 blah. But I think there's a canon reason for people thinking they can kill Jedi and Sith that doesn't involve them being stupid. Lack of information? We'll go with lack of information. Correct, Act. I have not had time to buy and test it, so it is not on the list, alongside Duke Nukem 3D and Call of Duty 3 are the three games right now that are in the buy them when they're on sale to test and figure out. And by when they're on sale, I mean when they're available. Although, considering how close we are to the Thanksgiving sale, I might just sit on those until the sale hits, and then buy them then. In fact, I think I will do that. We're only a couple months out. Let's see. Questions. Let's say I'm in charge of space colonization. What would I concentrate my efforts on? Air, I think, would be the primary thing I would focus on. If I was in this setting, what side would I choose? The Republic or the Empire? The Republic. And what would it take for you to side with the other? Death. How have you been? The theater came out last Saturday. That's awesome. I've been doing full tilt on working on the Diablo rewrite, which will be our next major project. It's about half scripted at this point. Speak to clans. Tell them we move very soon. Quickly.
Jawa, I have parts here from a droid you sold. I need them identified.
Droid parts. Stranger, go home. Go away. Big travel to South. Long suns. Very big distance to travel today. Get ready to leave soon. Can't trade now.
Look at this as an opportunity to work with the Empire. You might come out ahead.
This old droid. You want to know what it is? How Jawas savage? Big cost. Skill trade. The droid knowing, help clear path for Sandcrawl. The desert dangerous. Jawa's lives precious. Move quickly. Fair trade.
I clear your path, and you tell me what I need.
Very glad. Clear path. Help Jawa clans. Return soon, before long sunset. Shadows grow. Then we give you droid knowing. Oh, I don't really believe in the Republic either, but as I said the other day, I think it was literally Friday, the Republic will come up with an excuse to do something evil. The Empire will do something evil. PSP games are debatable. There's a big asterisk next to them. But I can stream PSP games. Asterisk. Yeah, we don't need to kill the Jawas. They're cool. What would make you drop Dragon Age as a series? Nothing. That doesn't work that way for me. If I haven't dropped Diablo after the release of Diablo Immortal, literally nothing will ever do that for me. That's not how my brain works. Too compartmentalized. And right back. There's not even any enemies here. It's great. Will Diablo Online? You mean Diablo Immortal? Which is always online, by the way. Just like 3. Actually, 3 kind of isn't always online. It gets a little asterisk there.
I've cleared the path. Your band should be able to travel now.
Yes, we hear good messages from scouts. All in place. Good trade. We give you droid knowing. Droids came from Big Wreck. Very old wreck. Lost now. Java collectors found it. Kikit, Niba, and Efa. Wreck was strangers' transport module. Big travel in and out of sand. Found droids, bones, salvage. Good things.
Let's hear some more.
Wreck is gone. Eaten by Stand. Excuse me. Stand. Stranger's gone too. Wreck parts already sold. Traded, but not this. Take lockpicks. Very secure. Slightly broken. Maybe you want it?
If it contains the secrets of Zerka, I'll take it.
Good. Very good trade then. Take good travel. Fast. Long suns. Thank you. Jawas are awesome. So somebody asked if the Jawas... do we know what the Jawas canonically look like? The answer is actually yes. They look like little rats. Pretty ugly and pretty gross. I've decided to take that and throw it out the window. And instead, we're going to consider them to be cute, adorable kittens underneath the mask. I don't know what you mean, Traxia. Is there any chance of getting behind-the-scenes videos on the theaters of the rewrites? So let's restructure that question slightly. Hey, Lore, is there any chance of making you work even more than you already do right now? If I figure out how to not have to sleep at night, yes. Listen, ugly is evil, my Kamano. I've played Fire Emblem. I know how this works.
All right, everyone get the equipment packed. Hale, see to the speeders. My lord, it's good to see you. Were you able to make contact with the Jawas?
I was able to negotiate for what we needed.
Looks like a stasis crate. The sort Zerka used to transport samples. Won't be easy to unseal, but we can peek inside. Keela, running through the analysis grid.
On it. We'll keep the sensitivity low. Don't want to pulverize any artifacts inside.
Definitely something in there. Alien device of some sort, roughly spherical, contained in a Zerka energy field. Blasted odd.
What about it is odd?
First pass shows the artifact is over 10,000 years old. Probably distortion.
Of course it is.
The energy readings are unstable.
Give me a few days to pop it open and we'll run the scan again.
I won't bore you with the science. Lord Silthar's on a pilgrimage and we're getting ready to move to the forward research outpost. But we may need you again soon.
Captain, you're holding something back.
Nothing actionable. You'll know anything as soon as I do. If you're heading to the desert, contact us at the first station out from Mos Ila. Lord Silthar should have a lead on the Zerka base by then. In the meantime, we've got an artifact to study.
Okay. Well, what you need to do, Mr. Red, is you need to make it so I don't have to sleep so I can work more. Any questions? Ping to you, Flag End. Only I could work even more than I already do. Which, I know that's what my viewers actually want. They say they know. But they do. Everyone wants me to work on some other thing than whatever I'm actually working on. There we go. I have obtained a secret hidden image. Give me one moment here. Change some of the options around on me here. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. I've actually obtained real footage of a live-action Jawa, so we can finally actually see what they look like underneath the hood. Let me go ahead. Flying. Here you go. So this is what Jawas actually look like. Wait, hang on. Okay, I'm getting reports. We actually have an unprecedented second image of what Jawas look like. Here we go. Here we go. Yep, we've got a second live-action feed of a Jawa right now. Yep, confirmed. Okay, cool. Jawas are cute. Headcanon confirmed. Oh no, this won't do at all. I wanted very expendable testers. I made that very specific in my order form. What good does a Sith do to me? If I break you, someone's gonna slice my head off. Oh, bring back someone who no one will miss if they die.
I'm not following you.
I am Teak. I am a Tier 6 inventor of the Research Corps, 8 of the Imperial Science Division. I've just designed a portable oscillator to strip the natives' droids of their shielding, so the slightest blaster hit will destroy them. Once I test it under field conditions, it'll be mass manufactured and distributed to every soldier on the planet.
By all means, continue.
It collects solar radiation and oscillates it at a precise frequency to... Never mind, you're not a scientist. All you care is that it works, not how. Once it's powered at a solar receptor, the oscillator is what you call point-and-shoot. I'll give you the location of both the power station and the droids if you truly wish to test it for me. I don't, admittedly. But, you know, it's my gerb.
This is Captain Gola, Reclamation Service Outpost 701. It's good to see you, my lord. My team's still searching for the Zerka base, but we've hit a snag that, frankly, we can't handle ourselves.
Bring me up to speed.
After you left for the Jawas, Lord Silthar had a vision. Something about the natives, the Sand People. He flew a speeder into the Dune Sea, but we lost the tracking signal in an energy storm. Silthar was summoning lightning.
Why would Silthar go out there alone?
Lord Silthar was following a dream, the same way he found the lost temple of Zeost and the crystal caves of Molivar. He told me the Sand People and their spirit guides were the key. He was looking for some sort of compass.
I can find him.
Find the spirit guides and find him. When you have answers, come to our forward outpost. Otherwise, I don't know how this mission can succeed.
Darth, Lord, honestly, what's the difference? Power is beautiful, and I have the power.
All right, men. I know some of you are new to Tatooine.
So, Latario asks, have I read any of the Dragon Age media outside the games? Yep. I'm pretty sure I've read all of it, actually, in preparation for the Dragon Age lore run we did a while ago.
Stay close to your squad mates. Sandstorms are not uncommon, and you can get lost real easy. Finally, and most importantly, watch where you're walking. One misstep and this desert will swallow you whole.
You're done. Okay. Yeah, no, that's intro, Mr. Red. I tend to mention tutorialization a lot in intros because it's one of the more common places to do it in, but you know.
I lost you there.
Let's see. Thoughts on the new Monkey Island game? They're making a new Monkey Island game? I hope it's better than 2. Because 2 sucked. Hey, Andiddy. I'm glad you liked it. I'm rather proud of it myself. Oh, it's coming out today? Oh, wow. Is that it? That's it. Okay. Ooh. What's the name of the mouse species? Chadrafan. Chadrafan? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Chardra? Dash fan. No, I didn't like Monkey Island 2. It's actually funny, because I thought I liked Monkey Island 2 until I replayed it for Rumination 2 years ago. I hated it. I spit on it. Tooey. Sorry, I shouldn't joke. I legitimately disliked it. You're probably thinking, but why, Lore? So, Monkey Island 1 is a fairly straightforward but nevertheless well-crafted and amusing parody of adventure games and pirates, a whole bunch of other random stuff, right? Monkey Island 2 is filled with almost nothing but juvenile 90s jokes. You know what I mean by that. You know the type. It has tood. So, I didn't laugh. And in a game that's designed to be a parody, in which you do not laugh, well, that doesn't really leave much there. And it's not like those games are known for their gameplay. I am absolutely the problem cubic, because if I had my way, I'd probably Thanos 90s 2'd out of existence. That's Warrior. That's a joke. I would never do that. I'm a little more tolerant than that, but I'm never gonna find that funny. I didn't when I was a kid. I certainly don't now. I've never found gross humor or juvenile humor to be funny, ever. So you give me a game filled to the brim with that, and you can imagine my reaction there, too. Build gameplay. All of that is build gameplay. Oh yeah, I got a new ability. Let's see what that actually does. Hey, delete me, please, sir. Yeah, there's a reason why I only find about half of South Park funny. It is actually the half that is extremely well crafted and clever, and, you know, the more you think about it, the funnier it is. As opposed to the half that is crude. I don't have a better word for it. I'm not trying to sound insulting. It is a very common... In fact, it is actually the most common form of humor that exists. It's just I don't find it funny. But anyways. Let's see. How would I have continued Modern Warfare 2's story if we ignore Space Wizard Makarov? Ironically, I'm the same way, Damashi, but it's actually funny. On the comments section of my comments on the second South Park game, I had a lot of people bashing me for being in favor of, let's see, watering down and, what was the other thing? Censorship. And I'm part of the problem for making sure that everything's... blah, 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 blah.
Lord Silthar. Did Captain Gola send you? Such a good man. A pity he didn't send young Hale, but the honor is yours. You will hear my last words.
Tell me what's been done to you.
The Force called me into the desert. I sensed what Circa found. An alien power. I saw a white room. I thought the Sand People would know the land's secrets. I murdered them. Stole their thoughts to find this cave. I knew victory before they destroyed me.
I followed the shaman's compass. But what is this place?
It is a cave of secrets. My journey here was not for nothing. Circa built its base over a site from the natives' myths. A forbidden land. The paintings in the cave show the way. Find them. Record them. Gola and his men, they...
We'll finish the mission, my lord. One way or another.
Find the paintings. But beware. Beware the thing in the white room.
How does Agent have a spinning blades ability? That doesn't feel very Agent to me. Where's the class fantasy? God. What's up over here?
But I'd lost you there.
I didn't say Stick of Truth wasn't funny. I said the other one was funnier. Also had substantially better gameplay, which admittedly affected my opinion quite a bit. Stick of Truth was kind of flawed, like most games are. The second one was a much tighter experience. I mean, what doesn't, Zada? Yeah, screw this thing. Honestly, screw the Sand People in general. Yeah, that's another thing. I think the actual story of the second game was generally better constructed. The first game barely had a story. It was just kind of there. Again, I'm not saying the first game was bad. Quite the contrary. I enjoyed the first game quite a bit. which I think is the critical thing that those people didn't understand on YouTube. I just thought the second game was better. Certainly reviewed better. It's okay, they're all dead now, Zach Taft. Anyways, so Modern Warfare 2. Gosh, so we leave with a huge cliffhanger. Would you believe I've never actually thought about what to do with that? I spent years waiting for Modern Warfare 3, and it was so disappointing that I just kind of walked away from it for a while.
Thought I'd lost you there.
Listen, I'm just saying if we could genocide all the sound people, might be a net positive on the galaxy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just wipe them out. All of them. Let me think about this for a minute. So what would I think we're at a hearth point. Yeah, we're at a hearth point. It's because Star Trek Online has some of the best build gameplay in gaming, Mr. Red. So.
Not your time yet.
No, we have to save the Jawas. We must kill all the sand people to ensure that the Jawas live. It's the only way. Oh, you're doing the Sith Warrior thing. Okay, I'll just do this real quick.
Your device worked well.
Of course it worked. I think you're dealing with some 4th tier apprentice. A few weeks from now, every soldier in the Imperial Army will be fitted with one of these. Narrator. They were not. I mean, relies on is an interesting statement, Blade Traval. But yes, because the sand people kill people, including Jawas, and then the Jawas move in to scavenge what's left from the dead people, because the sand people usually leave the salvage alone, because they don't care. They got their own things going on. Damashi says in a recent interview, Iizuka and Kishimoto stated that Sega upper management is frustrated with how long Sonic Frontiers has been in development. Now, Sega is crazy, and we can honestly end the question right there. But if Frontiers fails, do you think they'll force Sonic Team to go back to cranking out a game every year? Honestly, even if it succeeds, they might do that. Sega has this really, really big thing with trying to shoot themselves in the foot as often and as hard as possible. Now, what's funny is them and Capcom are the two big ones. Squirrels for Brains is hard to predict, but they tend to churn out some good quality stuff pretty regularly, in addition to the loads and loads of nonsense. But Sega? Sega is insane. The more I've researched the behind the scenes of Sega's history, the more I have absolutely no idea what the hell they're thinking about half the time. They just do whatever the hell they want to. They do not care. Like, their whole shtick is lucking out periodically. I think our combat gets stuck in combat there. Maybe? Maybe not. Wait a second. Yeah, no kidding. Oh. Yeah, Sega is just...
Wow, you all look like you're ready to cause some damage. Here, get a load of this. Navy just deployed the next generation prototype of our top orbital strike weapon. She's a real beauty, let me tell you. I'm supposed to be overseeing test firing against hard targets in the area, but we're on indefinite standby until conditions improve.
Why the hesitation?
The exchange is seriously entrenched out here, but they're protecting their strongholds with a wide area signal jammer. It means our targeting systems are useless, even the handheld close-up targeters.
Why hasn't your commander taken care of this?
No manpower. We've requested support, but command's dragging their feet. Could be weeks. I'd like to see my girl in action sooner rather than later. Once that jammer's out of commission, we can blow up anything we want, anytime we want. You with me on this? You could be the first to debut this beauty's 10-kiloton Roth.
What a delightful suggestion.
You're honouring the entire project with your support, my lord. The exchange leaders are the only ones with access to the jammer. Their security spikes would let you shut it down. With the jammer out of commission, you can use this targeter to blow any exchange assets in the area sky high. Hit anything you can get in range of. Bigger the better, just don't stand too close. I'll look forward to the light show.
I mean, it's worth noting that Sega has lucked into several very financially successful franchises. I know we tend to think of things like, you know, Sonic and the like, but no, they've got Yakuza, they've got Warhammer, they've got the Shin Megami Tensei series, they've got the Total War series, Company of Heroes. Yeah, they've got a couple of good sellers under them that have nothing to do with Sonic.
Humblest apologies, but I have a request that requires the attention of highly trained combatants. Band of filthy Jawas cracked into one of the Zerka Corporation's abandoned compounds we recently unearthed. Made off with every droid in the place.
You want me to help you?
The Jawas may have foiled the ideal recovery of these artifacts, but that doesn't mean the Empire can't still benefit from the technology. You see, the stolen droids activated. Now they're systematically hunting down everything around the Jawas' derelict sandcrawler. I've observed their behaviors becoming refined, more efficient. Honestly, it looks like they're learning from trial and error.
They sound like standard battle droids acting on their programming.
Battle droids don't self-coordinate. Without someone giving orders, they follow basic self-defense programming. Scanning the architecture of the droids' memory cores should give us more insight into their uniform design and their individual differences. Would you all be willing to help reclaim these lost artifacts?
I will investigate this.
It's unlikely that the droids will stand idle while you attempt to take a reading. Disabling them will be necessary. Just try not to damage their memory cores while you're taking the fight out of them.
Sure. That sounds safe and logical. That's heroic. Do that too. Correct, Mr. Ed. You're still in the builds gameplay range. Welcome to STO. Population builds. I don't have an idea for Modern Warfare 2. Certainly not off the top of my head. Strange. So I'm going to default on that question. I don't know. Something better than Modern Warfare 3. Not a full-scale Russian invasion of Europe immediately after a full-scale Russian invasion of the United States. Let's just start with that and like work our way up from there, I think. Have I played Conquer's Bad Fur Day before? No. What character in the DC Comics post-Crisis universe do you strongly dislike? Darkseid. Have you watched Boondocks? Yes. I didn't care for it. A friend of mine liked it, so I saw a bunch of it as a direct consequence thereof. So I'm not sure what I think of X's question. X is asking, why didn't we have a Christmas cruise section of Valiant Hearts? I'm not sure what I think of that, because on the one hand, I'm absolutely in favor of that. But on the other hand, I'm kind of not. It might distract from the tone a little bit. And also, there wasn't just one Christmas truce, there was like 30. Listen, Lataria, all I'm going to say is, have you ever tried the Itis Burger? Because you haven't lived until you've tried the Itis Burger. What's my problem with Darkseid? Everything? I'm gonna go with everything. I don't like how he looks. I don't like how he sounds. I don't like his tone of being an arrogant snot. I don't like the fact that the writers like to write him as if he's actually Batman. I don't like the fact that he is portrayed as the great villain of all Super Universe, which just... Honestly, it would be fine if I actually liked him as a character, which I don't. Which just so it kind of compounds the problem, you know? Kill this just to get rid of this stuff. I mean, the DCAU's take on everyone was better, so I'm gonna go with yeah on that front. Yeah, these are them. These are them. I like how it doesn't even indicate they're them. It's just you have to know. Ow! Oh, hey, this at least shares. Or no, it's sharing. It's just it doesn't always drop because of course it doesn't because this is vanilla WoW. Oh my goodness. Better than that one faction which is all about cleaning up after an occupying force moves in, J. Palmer. Now, I will say there's one thing about the comics dark side that I actually do like. Just the one. It's the fact that he's designed to be... Let me walk this back for a second. So, it's really easy to point to a character as a writer and say, they're evil. But I tend to prefer it that when a writer actually establishes that they're evil in some way that involves, you know, good writing. So, the one thing they did with Darkseid that I do like is they establish why he's so horrifically evil, or they establish that he's evil without just saying he's evil. Because Darkseid's whole shtick, is that seriously it? And I got 1 of 4? Oh my god! What they did is they designed him to be the jailer, but better, is how I'm going to phrase that. His whole thing is he doesn't want you to have any form of free will, or individuality, or self-determination, or anything. Darkseid's entire shtick, as designed, is to be absolutely dominant. That you exist only to be a slave of his, completely and utterly. Internally and externally. And that's a good way to establish someone as horrifically evil. That being said, I will go ahead and say that I still don't like him as a character, and that's why I tend to prefer to call him Darkseid, because it's a deliberate insult. Now I still need these stupid data spikes. Yeah, Darkseid wants to be the absolute god of everything. He wants to have total and direct control over everyone at all times, forever. Yeah, exactly, the anti-life equation. It's the only thing I'm with it on. Still a dumb character. Still looks like a Dorcas. Although, I mean, who could match up to the Thanos copter? Anyways, let's see here. If the Sand People were such a menace on humanity on Tatooine, why haven't the Republic or Empire annihilated them? Probably because they don't care enough, and also they probably haven't been enough of a hassle to really bother. Remember that the Republic and the Sith Empire only have a recent and, call it transient interest in this place. Most of the reason why Tatooine is such a hub is specifically because they have so little presence here. That is to say, the Republic has so little presence here. Wow, this drop rate is just incredible. Oh, that's even stupider, Lothario. Good lord. I mean, it was already silly enough when they decided to do the one Darkseid story arc. Darkseid is, etc., etc. Thoughts. I already answered that. Thoughts on Norman Reedus. Who? Mads Mikkelsen? Awesome. Earth 616 Thanos. So, I never liked Thanos as a character until I watched the MCU. Which, if you're paying any kind of attention, should sound familiar. Because I can say that about a lot of Marvel characters. God, this quest. This one quest. The Thanos copter does show up once in the MCU. Yeah, no, Thor, Iron Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Loki, Thanos. Honestly, I could go down the list. There's probably a fairly large number of characters who I was just kind of meh on, if I was even aware they existed, until the MCU came around. Oh my god! I'm still at 1. I'm still at 1 of 4 here. And I'm still at 1 of 4. Yeah, the Thanos copter's a real thing. I'm not making that up. See, Thanos in the comics is a big stupid doofus. I'm not really joking about that. So, it's specifically those guys, the exchange weapons specialists, but you can see on the mouse over right there, they do actually drop the data spikes, yes. However, like so many other bad vanilla quests, only the specialists actually drop the data spikes, and they are 1 of 4-ish per pack. So each pack of enemies we're killing, only one of them has a chance to drop the quest item, and obviously then there's a chance that they don't drop the quest item. So this is actually bad on top of bad, mathematically speaking. Hi, Hazardous. There, done. Freaking quest. Or not. God damn this quest. No, this is totally a gameplay negative. This is actually the second bad vanilla quest here. They're all side quests, too, so far. The Planetary Primer hasn't been terrible, but these are awful. Reputation and fleet gear, yeah, that would be itemization. My goodness. No kidding! Exclamation mark. Do you have the house to yourself yet? Question mark. Worst written Batman character. Do you mean like a character within the Batman mythos? Or do you mean the worst written version of Batman? No, Damashi. Sith Warrior and Consular, respectively.
So you need me after all. I'm gonna blast Wilkes to pieces just as soon as we find him.
Oh, Wilkes.
You okay?
Well, well. Andronicos Revel. I'm surprised they let you out of Imperial prison. And you brought a Sith to help you. How cute. But see these guys? They'll crush you and your Sith.
Aren't they? Oh my god, look at them. They're literally identical. Wait, no. The one on the right has a slight mustache. Other than that, they're identical.
I am not cute. I am deadly.
Let me guess. You're here for the artifact. The one the Empire was so keen on getting just before I crushed Andronicos. Would you believe he called me a nobody? A worthless, mangy, skinny little nobody. So I took his ship, his crew, his cargo, his blasters, and what else? Oh, his girl. Who's nobody now, Nicky?
I'm gonna rip out your throat and laugh while you try to scream.
We'll see who lands the killing blow.
You'll never beat me, and you'll never get your artifact. Boys, kill the Sith, but keep Andronicos alive. I'll want to play with him a little longer.
Okay. They're dead.
You idiots! You'll never get it now. Not the artifact, not the blasters, nothing.
I think we knocked the sense out of him.
You're so stupid. The great Andronicos rebel chases me across 5 planets only to fail. Even gets a Sith on his side, and they both fail.
Talk sense.
The artifact, it's cursed. It's cursed.
Yeah, I figured that one out.
They took it, just like I took it from you. Took it all. The blasters, the artifact, the money.
Tell us where they took it.
Chase them if you like. They went out into the deep desert. They left weeks ago. The Sand People will eat you before you ever catch them.
I've heard enough. Now give me one good reason not to blast your teeth through the back of your skull.
Do it. Maybe he'll finally shut up.
I've been waiting to do this for a long time, Wilkes. Can't say it was nice knowing you either.
Ha! I have no regrets, Andronicos. Least of all this.
What, getting killed? That's not a regret?
Lost your artifact and my special-made blasters. Just wait until I get my blaster pointed at those thieves.
Exactly how deep into the desert do we have to go?
Well, there's a speeder that'll take us out so far, but the coordinates Wilkes had are a little further out than that. Come on, the sooner we get out there, the better chance we have of showing them thieves what's what.
Yeah, I like my allies to be, allies and not pissed at me. So I let Andronicos take the kill. I don't like him much as a character, but he is a useful tool. You gotta take care of your tools.
You okay?
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, Act. I'm pretty sure I'm not exactly in the minority for thinking that either. I'm pretty sure most people know that GTA 6 is going to be GTA Online 2. That's like predicting that it might rain someday in Washington. Or, for those of you in Europe, that it might rain someday in Britain. The leak is extraordinarily bad. The question is how they're going to deal with it. But this is a company that will have no problems taking this and using this as an excuse to make everything worse. So, we'll see what they do with it. That's really the problem. Oh, hey. Guido's in the hospital. Sorry, that's a good thing. Holy crap, comma. Actually... glad to see you there, exclamation mark. Hope you're finally getting this crap dealt with, period. If anyone wants to share something, it's a good time. Guido's had an issue for months and has been running around the, you need this exact paperwork and you need this exact psychiatric help in order to sign off on it because... He's been going through the paperwork trail to try and actually get the medical help he needs. Hollow calls are not permitted. Interesting. I'm just gonna go in here then, because I don't know what that is. Unless it is this. Hey, don't make me a liar. I want to tell him that chat says help wishes him well. But I can't do that unless you actually say it. Endeavors are builds. Endeavors is back to build. I'm not going to tell him that, Hasbus. I'm not a liar.
Hale, check on Keeler and the others. See if they figured out anything with the artifact.
Sir, I'd like to hear what happened.
Follow orders. I'll brief everyone later. I've sent for water and Kolto, my lord. I'm sure the desert was agonizing, but we've been waiting for word. Any sign of Darth Silthar?
Trust me, you don't want that man back.
So, he really didn't make it then? Damn it! We all felt it, but we weren't sure. We're not blasted Sith. Without Silthar, we're just archaeologists with guns. Without him, this whole expedition falls apart.
It isn't over yet. I know where to find the Zerka base.
What are you talking about?
Explain. Cool. So, you like cyborg zombies, right?
Captain Gola!
Blast Hale, now's not the time.
The artifact. The one the Jawas found. It's got Kayla. We disabled the dampeners, and there was a flash.
What? Start containment procedures now!
At least they have those. Better than Zerka.
Again.
The imprisoned one will be free. The rebirth has begun. Yet no.
Tell me about the imprisoned one.
The imprisoned one speaks from the White Room. We are the manifestations of his glory.
Keeler? Everyone, stay back.
Yes. Fall before us. The expansion will continue. I was gonna say, we already know that they've got BOWs in Tor. So now we've got cyborg zombies too. Great.
Those creatures. They were my team.
Sir, I think Perrin escaped. He was heading into the desert toward the tribal settlement.
Blast. We'll mourn later. You remember the sons of Palawa. You hit them hard in Mos Ila, but their main village is just a few clicks out. If that creature reaches them, this could get very ugly.
The sons of Palawa can handle themselves.
Not if they don't know what they're facing. Basic rule of xenoarchaeology. You don't unleash a foreign technology into a population center, especially one with a man-machine interface. Worst case, the technology that changed Perrin could replicate. Every person in the settlement could be transformed.
Fools shouldn't meddle with what they don't understand.
With due respect, my lord, we know what we're doing. There are risks to any excavation. Reclamation Service protocol for contaminated sites mandates atomic heat cleansing of everything within a 100-meter radius. We've got to store a beradium explosives for that purpose. Enough to obliterate the Sun's cave village. But I hope it won't come to that.
We should have destroyed the tribals long ago.
If you say so. Get to the caves. Maybe you'll catch Perrin before he's transformed a whole army.
Listen, all I'm saying is that the Imperials need to march into the desert to wipe out the indigenous people. I don't see what the problem is here. So, why do I think the DC comic characters in the DCAU got depowered? No, the Jawas get to live. The Jawas, we will officially recognize the Jawas as the rightful owners of the planet. And therefore, this is actually their planet, so they're not, you know... And then they'll join the Empire, officially. And so they'll be under Imperial protection. We will make sure the Jawas live through everything, as opposed to everyone else. Nope. Sand people are all dead. They don't have a planet. They don't have a planet. We don't legally recognize they have a planet. So, you can see my hands are tied. You know, there's only so much I can do here. Anyways. So, I actually don't know that much about the behind the scenes of the DCAU. So I can only guesstimate at why they depowered them. But if you were to ask me why I would depower them if I was making the DCAU,
Not your time yet.
it's because you can do more when your heroes have less. That's a very common trend. There's other reasons to do that, but, I mean, if you ever wonder why I got rid of transporters in the Star Trek rewrite, there you go. Ooh, the forest people, I like it.
I knew the Empire used dishonorable tactics, but the ghost of the desert, do you know what it does to people?
Yeah.
The transformation is impressive.
Within the first minute, that terror changed good villagers into murderous machines. There's a war going on in these caves. Now I'll give my brothers the chance to win by keeping you from interfering.
Okay.
To destroy those monsters, you'll need my help.
Damn it!
You began this feud. Why would you help now?
We'll go with this one.
There's no challenge in fighting a doomed enemy.
If you really want to assist, I'll tell the others to let you through, at least until the crisis is over. If we destroy the ghosts fast enough, maybe we can stop them from replicating. But if even one survives, we start all over again.
Giga's just like, I must be as good as possible. I don't blame you, Giga. You've got to, you know, offset us, after all. We're pure evil. Anyways, no, you're absolutely right, Zadas. You can easily write yourself into a corner if you make your heroes... It's not just about making them too strong. This applies to anything. If you make your main characters have too many tools in their kit, whether that's superpowers or technology or magic or resources or backing or whatever, then it becomes much harder to challenge them. And it becomes much harder to do a lot of different types of stories. Not that you can't, it just makes it more diminished. How many... let me stick with Star Trek because I know that so well. How many episodes of Star Trek are there where everything could have been solved in like 5 minutes if the writers had just acknowledged the tech that they had in the episode? Instead, of course, what they didn't do was acknowledge said tech. And so instead it becomes bad writing. They just say, oh, yeah, no, the transporters, they don't work. That's it. And so forth and so on. Yeah, the old joke about Batman having the anti-everything thing on his belt is a joke for a reason. It's because for a long time there, Batman really did have an anti-everything thing on his frickin' belt. It was comical. There were no stakes. There was no drama. That being said, you don't have to completely nerf your characters. It's just finding a good balance point there. Because you want your party, think of it in such terms, you want your main characters to have something on their side. You don't want them to be completely incompetent or incapable, because that has the opposite problem. Something a lot of fiction tends to do is they tend to overestimate just how pathetic and weak the main characters are, and then they win. And again, we're back into the bad writing problem, because they win because the writer says they do, not because they actually earned it. No, that does not work at all, Zactep, because what you've essentially done is just said, alright, Superman is weak today because I say he is. Kryptonite is one of the most classic examples of the MacGuffin. In fact, when someone literarily uses something like kryptonite, it's actually called kryptonite as shorthand, because it kind of started that whole thing. So, no, kryptonite is not an acceptable answer to this. Because all you're doing with kryptonite is saying, oh, the transporters don't work this week. Why? Because I said so.
The ghosts of the desert are gone, and the wind is still. The village is secure.
All right. Incinerate the corpses.
Yes, brother.
You You saved our village. You know the sands well.
I did what was necessary.
To your credit, it will take time to rebuild the settlement. Time we shouldn't spend in pointless battle. You acted honorably, and the blood feud can end.
You know what? Okay, fine. Just stop bothering me.
Don't tell me you want to be my friend.
No. Only to remember you as an honorable foe from a battle long past. However, I can't help suspecting you caused this attack. Intentionally or not, you awakened the desert's terrors. Leave our settlement. Leave Tatooine altogether. Never let us see you here again.
Blah, blah, blah. Go away. Shoe fly, you bother me. Okay, so now we go there. I can actually warp to. So I shall. Anyway, sorry, bit of a long answer, but I hope that gives some of my thoughts on the matter. Again, I don't know if they actually did it for that reason, Latario. But he does that. That's a good point. He does have that mustache. I've read Dr. McNinja. But that's probably at least partially why they depowered everyone in the DCAU. Even Batman is a lot lower tier in terms of his gadgets, his competency, and his toolkit, as opposed to a lot of his other presentations. Never mind how much they drastically dragged Superman down, and Darkseid, and so forth and so on. Who's more evil, Darkseid or Brainiac? Well, obviously it's Darkseid, but... Opinion on the Anti-Monitor.
Not your time yet.
What did you say that name's an us? Oh, sorry. Right.
Are the power readings stable?
Yes, sir. The stasis field's online.
Keep it that way. I don't want the artifact powering up again. You're looking all right. You caught up with that monster?
The ghosts of the desert live no more.
I'll take that as an affirmative. And I'm glad you could spare the village. No one deserves that. Those artifacts Zerka found, they must be capable of infecting people, transforming them. I don't know why you'd build a device like that. But some species did, long before humans lived on Tatooine. And the Reclamation Service has the job of bringing those artifacts home. Are you with us?
Sounds like you've got your fire back, Captain.
I had my moment of doubt. I saw Keela, Perrin, and Ban die because of it. What we've just experienced, the artifact powering on the takeover, I'm willing to bet Zerka went through the same thing. If we knew where to start looking for Zerka's base, we could scan for the artifact's power signal, track down the laboratory. Too bad Siltha didn't get more data.
The base is in the Sand People's cursed land. These drawings should show the way.
Yes, it's primitive, but it looks like a native map. We'll check its age, calculate the geographical changes since its creation.
I think we have it, sir. The natives' forbidden zone is in Sector 22G. I can start outfitting a probe immediately. Once you're in position, use this signal device to call the droid. It'll launch from here.
In the meantime, we've got friends to bury.
Whatever. No, it's a totally appropriate question. It's just, back in the day, my first thought about the Anti-Monitor was, God, he looks stupid. But I liked Crisis of Infinite Earths, and I liked the way they did that when it came out. Looking back at it now, I'm not really sure that the Anti-Monitor actually holds up to scrutiny. Now, I say it that way very specifically because I actually don't know. I haven't gone back and reread that in quite a while. I do think they did the big problem they always make with all their villains with the Anti-Monitor, and they kept bringing him back instead of letting him stay dead. There are an extraordinarily small number of villains they haven't done that with.
You've brought me readings? Excellent. It looks like you were able to conduct many scans. Did the droids pose much of a threat when you encountered them?
I think I deserve more compensation.
All I have is what's left of my excavation budget, but you're welcome to every last credit. You've ensured that Tatooine will hold no secrets from the Empire. Thank you.
And I know that's comics in general, but that's not really an excuse. In my book, in my opinion.
Ha! That was great! I can see those strikes come down from here. After that display, I'm going to recommend the final model be named in your honor.
It's an honor.
We'll be collecting the Delta A5 soon to make adjustments based on the data you provided. Here's a little something on behalf of the project. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Having fun, Zadar. Whoop. Oh, I'm right. So, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right, Damashi. It's not exactly exclusive to comics, but I think the comics are the worst about bringing characters back when they shouldn't. And notice how I emphasize that. It's not like characters should always not come back. It's just, you should think about that, like every other aspect of storytelling. If I was to do a whole massive story arc about, I don't know, Captain America dying, and make it a huge frickin' deal, and do this tons of build-up and tons of payoff and all this stuff, and then, oh, by the way, Captain America's still alive. What? And yeah, have him come back, oh, and also he's a Nazi. What?
Hello. That's right. I'm talking to you. I know who you are, and I bring a proposal. I'm Shael Tassau. I speak for a small consortium of the Exchange on Tatooine. They want a warlord dead, and they think you're the one to do it.
You think I'll work for crime lords?
Oh, are you an upstanding citizen? I assure you, I have the public safety in mind. The target is the warlord Garbodia. He killed a Sith apprentice sent to assassinate him, and it's costing all of us. Imperials are torturing and killing Exchange members to find his location. Now, I know where Gar is, but I came to you. Understand why?
You don't want to reward the Empire for imprisoning your friends.
I wouldn't say friends, but I owe some people. Gar and his mercenaries are hiding in the desert. I saw them taking shade by a derelict sandcrawler. We can pay for his head. That ugly bantha stain is done. The Empire agrees, the Exchange agrees. How about you?
There won't be a heart left beating.
Good. Now, he does move around a lot. Don't expect to find him exactly at the sandcrawler. You bring me his head, and I'll bring you the credits.
I'm amused because we're not even playing a Sith warrior, and we've already heard that exact line twice. That's how common that damn line is.
Glad to see you. I'm Major Breaker. I trust you've developed the same hatred for this dirty planet as I have.
Yes.
We were so close to expanding Imperial influence, introducing refinement to this rock. If you can spare a moment, we may still have a chance.
If the Empire's growth is at risk, I'll remove the threat.
Thank you. I cannot afford another failure. There's a well, one of Tatooine's deepest and most successful. Whoever controls it, controls this region. Imperial Command ordered me to take it, but my men were butchered by sand people, no less. This tribe's so ruthless, all the other tribes pay them tribute. The Empire can't let these filthy savages control such a priceless resource.
I will end their rule.
Excellent. I can't wait to hear of your victory. The well lies deep in the desert. Kill the sand people who guard it. The Empire will be grateful.
your time yet.
And that's my opinion on FF14. Any questions?
According to this...
And yeah, and that's why the Sand People need to die. It makes so much sense. Wake up, sheeple. So how well do I think a Mass Effect game based around the First Contact world would work? Depends on the type of game. I think several genres would work for that. I know a lot of people talk about doing a First Contact game. So, question mark? Who knows if there's broad appeal in it. But also, who cares? XCOM. You actually play as the Turians, and your goal is to stomp the humans as much as possible.
Not your time yet.
And, you know, take as minimal losses as possible while stomping the humans into the dirt. Don't worry, Mass Effect 5, yeah, will definitely be a good game and not a terrible, terrible game. Wink. I was actually thinking towards something strategy related, though. See, I wouldn't make the humans playable, because there's only two options there. You make a what-if scenario in which they win, which could work. I can see that working. Or, you don't.
I lost you there.
Mass Effect 5 might be a game. Let's be very clear about this. Is it in development? Yeah, probably. Will it ever come out? Little more uncertain about that one, if I'm being honest. Scanning. Torturing. Scan complete. Torturing commencing.
Can you hear me, my lord? There's a sandstorm interfering with communications, but I wanted to report.
There is?
The droid's locked onto an underground power signature. Must be an artifact in the Zerka base. We've also found some kind of recorded message.
Any idea who it's coming from?
Patching it through now. Is this thing working? Blast. Security Officer Gromick here. I'm the last man out. We've been ordered to seal Zerka's Secret Weapons Division 7. The base was compromised. We thought we had the problem contained to the artifact cave, but it didn't last. Okay, sealing the doors now. Anyone who sees this, don't come in. You don't want to. You really don't want to. They lost the whole base. Imagine that. We've got fragmentary codes and coordinates, but you'll need to run additional scans to unlock the base. There may be more messages, too. We both know if anything is still alive in that base, you're our best chance of retrieving Zerka's artifacts. You'll have to go alone.
Only a Sith can understand true ancient power.
I like to think my years with the Reclamation Service count for something.
Nope.
But this is how it has to happen. Gola out.
And yes, Dragon Age 4 is another, it might be a game someday thing. It's possible. Oh, that's right. I was going to say, I feel like this is the warrior thing, and that's because it is. Okay, whatever. Let's see here. Let's go over here. What's the in-universe reason that no faction ever terraformed this stupid planet? So, the easy answer is that this planet is irrelevant. Nobody cares enough to actually terraform this place. Even in Star Wars, terraforming tech takes time and resources and resources and resources. And the Hutts don't give a damn. They can just import whatever they want and squat on their thrones and they're cool. So, that's the canon reason. Nobody gives a damn. Now, I just want to show this off briefly because we actually didn't last time. We had a big discussion about how crate dragons are super terrifying. Remember, they were like, oh my god, you don't understand. There's this thing and it's terrifying even to a crate. Well, this is the skull of a crate dragon. Now, I know this probably isn't really getting across the sense of scale correctly, because my camera's about 100 feet behind me, so if I were to zoom in a little bit and remember that I'm probably about 5 or 6 feet tall here, and there's one of its teeth. Yeah. Anyways. Great dragons, yo. There's a reason we tend to not see crate dragons in action in any of the games. Or movies, or shows, or anything, really.
You okay?
Dr. Sopern here. We've finished our initial catalog of the cave artifacts, which register as over 20,000 years old. You think that would narrow down the possible creators, wouldn't you? There weren't many societies capable of space travel in that period. But I can't find any society or species that fits these criteria. Even Gree technology isn't comparable. Anyway, Dr. Lyric and I will study the primary device and assign lesser relics to the others to keep them busy. Hopefully, we'll find something useful. Zerka's going to make a fortune off this stuff if we can figure it out. End log.
Well, yeah, the non-canon answer is because we need to keep having Tatooine, because Tatooine is iconic, probably because of Dune, so... Do you have any expectations or predictions about the expansions in this game that I haven't played yet? I've heard bad things almost universally. Now, all of that's on the story axis. So, I have no idea what to expect gameplay-wise, except that we've actually already seen one expansion dungeon, and it was substantially better than every other dungeon in the entire game, in vanilla. So, story-wise, I'm not expecting much. Gameplay-wise, I'm hoping for some good stuff.
This is Director Antaean speaking. As you know...
Okay, so we've actually already seen all these dialogues. This is the exact same dialogues the Republic got, so I'm just going to skip through these. I noticed it in the last one, too. That's actually a dungeon. If I'm remembering correctly. I'm going to look that up. A little bit of a check. Hang on, hang on. Yep, nope, that is in fact a TFO. That is a dungeon. I love the name of this quest. The thing Circa found. You just plop that down and it's just like, oh my god. What expansion have I played up to? Vanilla. You notice the Imperial troops here attacking the Republic person doing the shared quest we're doing. Like I said, I'm just gonna skip these because we've literally already seen these on the Republic side. Shared questing. Woo. Let's go ahead and hit this one next. I want to see him. Who's that one? Kill sand people. Okay. Yeah, I've been hearing bad stuff about Kotfi since Sci-Fi Debris, I think, was the first one who really brought that to my attention. And then I started asking for a few of my friends and viewers what they thought about it. And I heard negative stuff from them, too, so it's like, oh, okay. Again, I'm trying not to prejudge. It's something I do try to avoid in general, and Lord knows my opinion has changed many times over the years. We'll see. See, I usually do those just to get the consoles and the traits, Kiroi Noise. Which is why I'm doing it this time, because the new ship looks really stupid, but I don't care because I want the trait in the console. Yes, somehow Vitiate has returned. That's, yeah. Okay, and that's the Sith Warrior thing. Really? That? Oh, for God's sakes! All right, we'll do this then. Next. Hey, look, there's the balloon. Oh, I believe you, Arcano. I remember drip feed content, and drip feed content sucks in an MMO. We actually talked about that during the STO run, if you'll remember. There was a portion there where they came out with, like, no content for, what was it, a year and a half? I forget the exact number. And then, you know, they had one quest and one new repeatable daily area. And then no new content for months. In fact, I think it was actually another year again. Remember that? It was right before the Delta stuff really started hitting. And that... Oh my god. Oh my god. There we go. And that content drought sucked. Just, ugh. Yeah, stupid balloon. Let's see. Kobayashi Maru is a dungeon. Azure Nebula is a dungeon. I don't know why I didn't hit start.
Well, Dr. Lyric is gone. He's put in for a transfer and is heading back to Anchorhead.
The Nukara dungeon is a dungeon.
Lesser relics with him. Good riddance. He was a pain to work with. Still.
More repeat dialogue. Yeah, if you time it perfectly, you can actually get this particular holocron relatively quickly. And by relatively, I mean take you about half an hour. But how many of you have ever gone to get that particular holocron and missed the jump? It's not a hard jump. But if you miss it, oh, much worse, Psychotic. Much worse. Whoa. I'm actually curious, do I still have credit for that holocron? Where's the key? There we go. Not away. I do. I still have all credit. The Tatooine ones.
This is the
What, just a physics bug, Psychotic? Jesus. Okay, so let's go deal with this. Yep, the thing you are already dealing with. Yes, it was the will of the Force. Screw you, balloon. Jumping puzzles are one thing. Standing still for half an hour per attempt, at a minimum. Yeah, also on this friggin' planet, on top of everything else. I don't think so, Dr. Winter. If I did, I have no memory of it. I don't remember why you got holocrons back in the day. I feel like there was a tangible benefit other than just collecting, but I don't remember what it is. That's right. I wonder if those still apply. Because I have quite a few of the holocrons. Still. Like, I have credit for them still. Is that it? Wow. Those are dungeons, Mr. Red. Oh, wow, psychotic, really. As I say, at end game, you'd think those stat changes would be minuscule. I mean, I know everyone likes to min-max when it comes to raid groups, but really? Oh, my. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised by anything that raid players pull at this point. I remember when it was considered mandatory to carry an entire bundle of Serenite bombs into Icecrown Citadel. And no, I'm not going to explain that one. It was patched out, although not as fast as you'd think. Because it was in for a bit. And then one of the big guilds actually started talking about the strategy they were using. And that's what got it attention, and that's what got it nerfed. And yeah, that was during the platform glitch era. No, they were used for the Lich King battle. I mean, I can name other examples, too. Some big, some small. Like, some raids would actually kick you out, it will penalize you, and then kick you out of the raid team if you wouldn't pre-haste before a boss fight. Just to name, a minor example. Yeah, the main reason I remember that particular exploit is because of the interesting debate that the WoW team had to decide about it, because the WoW team actually encouraged exploits within a certain reasonability. They wanted players to come up with unique and fun ways to beat their bosses, but sometimes they felt the players went too far and were just straight up cheating. So they didn't want to encourage cheating, they want to encourage exploiting, and that the distinction between those two things is more finite than it probably should be. So yeah, we've actually already done this too. So, what's up, dude? I remember that one, J. Palmer. And yeah, that's clearly cheating. Kind of an amusing cheat, actually. Still cheating.
What are you?
I am super evil. Ow.
Killing you will be such fun.
Okay, so. Time to kill. You gonna attack me? Oh, there they go. Come on, actually attack me. I want you to do it. Hit me. Yeah, if only the Rakata had stopped imprisoning their people and actually killed them. No, Lothario. I haven't really done an evil playthrough of any game ever since KOTOR 1. Unless you count Consular last week. Oh my god, no kidding, Psychotic. This would be awful if this was on Coruscant. Like, thank god this is on some backwater planet nobody really cares about, right? Zombies are dangerous and all, but once they run out of corpses to convert, you know. Of course, Lothario. A purely evil Sith warrior. Also, ignore the fact that we're doing an evil playthrough right now. Where to get... I didn't get credit for destroying this equipment, because this game is made with pretzel sticks, so... That's true, I am going to be freeing Vet, because I will not do pure evil. That's fine, let's just wait. Surely it'll respawn and not force us to go outside and do this all over again. Surely. Yeah, okay. Let's go reset the quest. And say thank you, Diabetes. Always. Whoop.
You want to say anything? You've lived.
And I'll put that towards Patchwalker. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to reset. Whatever. It's fine, it's fine. It's just, this game sucks. I mean, this is the best game ever. Sorry, YouTube comments. Don't hate me. Well, okay, you can hate me. Because it fuels me. Your hatred is what fuels me. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, God. I grab my mug and there's no coffee in here. There's just hatred from YouTube viewers. So I think I actually have to reset... Oh, maybe not. Wait for it to reset. Either way, beat this, put that towards Patchwalker. Oh, I remember that, Caspian. Bunch of idiots on that comment. My favorite was how many people accused me of liking Joel, and that's why I disliked the game. Me. That's like saying, Laura, you just love Darkseid so much. You're such a Darkseid lover. That's exactly why you don't like the DCAU. Or whatever. It's like, you... What? There's a reason why one of the basic learning tests is comprehension. Now, I'm gonna go test something here. I'm pretty sure that I'm right. Oh, I'm wrong! Holy crap! What do I think of Joel? I don't, really. He's well voice acted. But he's kind of a non-character, and I just have no interest in him in any direction. Straight zero. So I didn't reset the instance. I'm just amused. Alas, it didn't count. Oh wait, no, it did count. Yay! Oh my god, really, Giga?
You want to...
Once again, destroying the box is the light side choice, because once again, light side is just portrayed as having a freaking brain. Okay, Giga. That's probably what it was, Arcana. Probably auto reset. Where would I take the next Elder Scroll game if I had complete creative control? Well, the first thing I'd do is I'd make it a real game instead of Fallout whatever. And the next thing I'd do is I'd make it have local and online co-op. And if I'm being completely honest, everything else other than that doesn't matter to me that much. I've been wanting co-op in my Elder Scrolls since Morrowind, which, as a reminder, was about 20 years ago. Now, obviously I'm kind of cheating the question, but I want to stress that I am not being facetious about that. That is easily my #1 biggest wish for any Elder Scrolls game coming out. Now, they will never do that. It was one of the only reasons I was even remotely interested in, I can't remember what it was called, Fallout whatever. The crap one. 76, thank you. I kept wanting to say Shelter, and I'm like, no. Yeah, Fallout 76 was because it looked like it could be played co-op. And it kind of can, but it's not really. So, anyways, point being. Kind of, yes, Blade Travel, but they're really janky. Because they're kind of trying to force the game to do something it wasn't programmed to do. And I don't just mean the co-op thing, I mean just the way that the game renders. Just functionally renders, you know? And yeah, one of the biggest reasons I jumped into ESO was because I could play it co-op. But anyways, getting off topic. Point being, let's ignore that for a moment. So, it's a co-op, it's local and online co-op. Cool. Now, where do we actually set Elder Scrolls 6? Because there's a lot of options there. And I've tossed this around a few times. In fact, this has come up every single time we've streamed any Elder Scrolls game of any kind. One moment.
You've returned. I was about to pass out from the stench here when I heard reports of your successful massacre. Perfection as always, my lord. The survivors are weak and scattered. Once we have the well, there'll be no stopping the Empire's advance. As for myself, I'll finally be stationed somewhere befitting a man of my status. You're my savior. I can't thank you enough.
I should have known you'd twist my victory for your benefit.
An unexpected benefit, I assure you. I would never place my needs before the Empire's. Now, I must pack. I won't forget you when I'm sipping Corellian brandy somewhere far from here.
So, obviously there's a bunch of good options there. The most obvious ones being Hammerfell and Black Marsh. Both of those I have a lot of interest in.
My people say someone ripped through Garbodia's camp. Can I spot talent or what? I trust you if... Oof. If I knew his head was gonna stink this badly, I'd have given you a refrigeration unit. Thanks. You can wrap that back up. Oof.
This is your evidence, whether it drips or not.
Ugh. One more thing the guys in the cells will owe me for. They're gonna be cleaning my bantha ranch. Nasty as this is, it's better than what was going on before. I just couldn't personally smell it. Do you see a garbage chute?
But I'd lost you there.
We here at the Lorewalkers do not endorse throwing disembodied heads into garbage chutes. Don't do that. Not that I have any experience with that, of course. Thank you, Kira White Noise. Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine this, but you're being blinded the whole time. I will put that towards Thief 1, if you give me one moment. Oh, really? Huh, okay.
You okay?
So, you know, Black Marsh, Hammerfell, both actually have a lot of possibilities, but I'm going to stick with what I said a few years ago on a stream, which was basically titled, Here's What I Would Do with Elder Scrolls 6. I'd set it an Akavir. I would make the entire focus of the game being you're on some kind of expedition, probably on someone's behest, and you have been sent out to Akavir to look into and either colonize or settle or claim or conquer, depending on how you decide to play through it. Probably no world-ending threat. I think we've had enough of those. And probably not really focus on anything connected to the previous games all that much either. Because the whole point is to be over there doing this whole thing. In an ideal world, I'd probably have some kind of empire building going on too. Like getting people on your side, building up factions and bases and camps. Maybe a little bit of actually being able to build and design stuff yourself. And naturally we start off in prison. I don't know how, but we'll make it work somehow. Actually, what we could do is you start off in prison. No, that doesn't make any sense, though. How do we start off in prison? Yeah, imagine Greedfall, but worth a damn, and with actual gameplay. And you kind of got what I'm thinking about.
Thought I'd lost you there.
I know, Mega Skullmon, Spockmon. I'm just... whatever.
Damned idiotic, nerve-hurting sons of huts. They got away.
Okay, I'm just gonna pick this real quick.
Snap out of it.
Next time, just slap me in the face, okay? Damn crazy Sith.
I tend to get carried away.
Sure you do. I know how you Sith work.
Oh my god.
Sith torturer with a collection of prisoners' fingernails gets zapped because Darth so-and-so doesn't like how he looks. Sickest monsters in the galaxy, the Sith.
Not all Sith are that way.
It didn't bother you to torture Wilkes when he was already half dead and raving mad. Look, I like you well enough. I mean, I wouldn't call us friends, but I think we can work together.
Oh god.
Just forget I said anything, huh?
Okay, so, hold up. I don't actually want to shock him, so...
Damned idiot.
We got what we came for. Now let's go.
What? It doesn't bother you? These idiots run off with your artifact and you don't even get to knock them around? I just can't figure you, Sith.
Yeah, by the way, this is our romance option.
It's enough to know that they've suffered.
For you, maybe. I was looking forward to shooting the eyeballs out of their skulls. But you're the boss, huh, Sith? Now are we gonna get off this rock or what?
The sooner the better.
You mind taking me along for the ride? I'm a damn good pilot, and I've got contacts a Sith will never make on his own. It'll be your show, no questions asked.
I'm in charge. And don't you dare forget it.
It's not...
I'll take that as a yes, then.
Whatever. It's not what I was going for, but whatever. Okay, so... that's done. Okay. Oh, come on! Really?
You okay?
Do you mind? Anyways, where's Captain Jack? Oh, he's over there. Okay. The Captain Jackass. Don't aggro me. Don't aggro me. You son of a...
I lost you there.
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Winter. Well, I didn't want to actually shock him, you know. I want him on my side, not at my side. Okay, so, as I was saying... speaking of the KOTOR 1 Dark Side mission, After you use Zalbar to kill mission, would you have rejected the dark side on the Forge if given the opportunity? And, I think you can do that, can't you? Isn't there like one last, no really effort? Oh no, that's only if you romance Karth, isn't it? I don't remember. But the point is that no. We've given in to the evil side of the evil. We've horrifically killed the amazingness that is mission. No.
My lord, you're back. I wasn't expecting you to be so quick.
Your power is impressive, even among the Sith.
I'm sure you want to rest up, but I'd like to hear. Did you find the artifacts?
I found them, but they had to be destroyed.
Blast. Were they really that dangerous? You couldn't have contained them?
You?
Sorry. Stupid question. Still, we've got one artifact, and there's always Zerka's records. It's a victory, if not one for the history books. With Darth Silthar gone, I am in charge. You ever need our help, you know where to find me.
You're not without skill, Captain. I'll remember your offer.
You're too kind, my lord. Safe journeys out there. And be careful. This galaxy has a lot of old secrets. Once you start seeing them, they tend to start looking back.
I know, right? It's like, you sure you couldn't keep the super zombie plague of death? And it's like, dude, have you not been paying attention? So if a crate dragon's 100 meters long on average, are there any bigger creatures? Yeah, those stupid worms in asteroid fields. Also, I think Sarlaccs are bigger, but that's kind of, you know, they're pits. They're burrowed into the sand, so that's kind of a question mark there. That even counts. In Legends canon, what event in Star Wars history was critical for shaping Sidious's plan in the original trilogy? Non-applicable. In other words, there is no such thing. Unless the Darth Plagueis novel is considered canon, which to my knowledge it is not. But if it is, then Plagueis. Yeah, funny thing about the AU, there's a lot of really big holes in it. Like, really big holes. I'll come back to that in a second. Those are, put those under... Just put those under... Oh, no, it's not that, though. Put it under primary optional, Mr. Red. All the Adventure Zone stuff, because there's a few. Oh my god!
So you beat Wilkes and made it out of the desert alive, huh? Wilkes doesn't surprise me, but when I heard you were heading for the desert, well, I wasn't expecting to see either of you again.
I brought Andronicos back.
You should stick with this one, Andronicos. You might learn a sense of humor.
Look I have a sense of humor.
Relax, it was a joke. Anyway, I'm glad you came, because it gives me a chance to thank you for taking out that runt Wilkes. With some real leadership, maybe the exchange on Tatooine can move ahead for a change.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. I'm hopeful. And Andronicos, I'm sorry.
It's alright, huh? We wouldn't have worked out anyway. All that shouting and throwing stuff, somebody was bound to get hurt.
Yeah, right. Well, guess it's goodbye then. Good luck out there.
Murder and mayhem await.
I get the feeling we're gonna make a damn good team, you and me. Let's get off this rock, huh?
Get used to hearing that line, too, while we're on the subject. Okay, now... let's turn around. Let's see. What would I think if Elder Scrolls 6 goes back to Skyrim? Why? And that would be my thought, in one cohesive sentence. That's...
Target sighted. Sweep the area and escort the package.
What's happening here?
If you'll remain where you are, my lord.
Make way for Moff Yorian. So much fuss over a walk to the spaceport. You'd think I'd break my own neck without a bodyguard. I'm Mara Urian, overseer of this sector. I trust your visit has been both enjoyable and productive.
You have as many criminals buried in the desert as you do artifacts. Truly a wealth of discoveries.
Well put, my lord. Tatooine may not be prestigious, but it is useful. We've hosted everything from archaeological digs to weapons testing facilities. A clean slate means opportunity. Imagine Imperial Tatooine as a bulwark against the Republic and underworld corruption throughout the Outer Rim.
With enough manpower, it's possible. But Tatooine is far from achieving your dream.
Not as far as you think. Intentionally or not, you've already struck blows to the Exchange, the Sand People tribes, and others. You have unfinished business, and before you leave, I'm offering you a part in this sector's subjugation.
When the Minister of War honors your accomplishments, you'll have me to thank. Understood?
The Empire will have you to thank, but I'll show my gratitude. Shall we begin? Without an Imperial Legion, we need unconventional allies to secure territory, and the local Mandalorian mercenaries are legendary. I've opened relations and posted officers in their settlement, but the Mandalorians must also learn to respect us. You can arrange that.
I've heard the term Mandalorian, but I'm not familiar with the people.
A high-tech warrior culture, eager to fight and often for hire. One of their clans settled here. The Mandalorians use the wastelands outside their village as a training ground. If you survive the passage, they'll be forced to acknowledge you. But retrieve the corpses of their initiates who died in the wastes, drop their own dead at their feet, and they'll be forced to see you as a challenge.
I'll prove to the Mandalorians that I can survive what they couldn't.
Put them in their place and help my men, and our conquest can begin.
Sir, Colonel Gorick is waiting to report.
If you'll excuse me, but think on what I've said. Work with me, and the rewards will be magnificent.
I don't really want a blue Twi'lek, though. But thank you. Sorry, Orcano, I didn't mean to, make you cry. I'm guessing simply at the existence of the bonus series. Not something I would blame you for. When a Sith warrior says, "Time for a bloodbath," I think the shampoo that they use is that really fluffy strawberry flavored one. I forget the brand off the top of my head. It's what I used to use. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. It's good stuff. It's a good shampoo. Isn't the last Dragonborn canonically human? Because insert lengthy explanation here. To my knowledge, I have no idea. I don't think they like to codify things like canon in general. That being stated, it wouldn't surprise me if the canon Dragonborn is a Nord, right? Because there's obviously... Every Elder Scrolls game has been built with one species in mind to be the player character. And... obviously, Skyrim was designed to be played by a Nord, so... In all sincerity, though, can we not go back to Skyrim? I'm interested to see what they do with Skyrim in ESO. But, you know, that's ESO. Do I enjoy any of the Tom Clancy games? I like The Division quite a bit, actually. The Division 2, again, quite a bit. And Ghost Recon Wildlands. Specifically Wildlands, not any of the other ones. And I think that's actually it. I think that's the full list right there. This actually hurts. This really hurts. Holy crap. Yeah. Ah! Okay, I lived. About 300 health there. Jesus Christ. That hurt. Thank you, Ryman. I will put that towards the BRPG blog. Disregarding the jailer, do I think WoW has one primary antagonist? Yeah, Sargeras. The same primary antagonist they've had since Warcraft 1. Okay, that's a slight exaggeration. Sargeras wasn't actually really mentioned until Warcraft 2, and didn't become the villain of the series till Warcraft 3. but it's still true, and Sargeras is the main villain of Warcraft. Yeah, the jailer's just some moron. I've said that before and I'll say it again. The jailer was a poor man's attempt to try and include a story arc that was not very well conceived at the beginning. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Gigapudding. We're going to some Dragon Island next, okay? It's been 5 years, and for 5 years there's been a giant sword sticking out of the deserts of Silithus.
Mandalorian, we've been through your training grounds. We survived what your initiates couldn't.
What are these? You've brought the dead here?
Not just any dead. Our dead. You think you can walk into our village and insult us? Imperial dog?
No.
Yeah.
They speak the truth. Our initiates failed, where these people did not. Welcome to our village. You have earned the right to be here. More than those stooges Moff Yorian pays us to protect.
What is your clan's relationship to the Moff?
We agreed to provide space and security for some of his men. He's asked for more, but we will not become Imperial servants.
They're afraid of you already. I'm Ensign Ver. The Moff asked me to congratulate you and pass on a message. He's transferring credits to your accounts as a gesture of goodwill. A taste of what's to come for all his valued allies.
I'll make sure the Mandalorians learn their place, and our enemies will fall.
He'll be glad to hear you say that. Good luck with your operations in the village. I'm sure you'll handle these people adeptly.
Thank you, Sonoshi. I have jotted that down for the Dragon Age block. Appreciate you as always. Thank you. Hope your day is going as well as it can. And if it's not, I'll kill everyone in your way. Except for me. Can't do that. Made a promise.
Of course, Commander. Our relations with your people are based on respect, not just credits. Your concerns will be addressed.
See that they are. Retorche me.
My lord, Zola Alvanis, diplomatic service on assignment to the Mandalorian settlement. I'd like a moment, if you please.
I assume this is about the Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians let us use their village as a staging area. But they're starting to resent our presence. It's time we moved on. Not far from here, there's a bunker in the hands of Gamorrean raiders. Brutish, deadly creatures responsible for the massacre at the Tatooine mining colony. But if we had that bunker, we wouldn't need to share resources with the Mandalorians at all.
I'll clean the bunker with Gamorrean blood. Our troops can live in style.
That would be very generous of you, my lord. The Gamorreans will mount a stern defense, but if you can soften the opposition and bring me their base's computer codes, it'll be enough. The Imperial garrison can complete the takeover, leaving the Mandalorians to do what they will.
I was wondering about the outfit change, Arcano. Especially since you're wearing something that looks like it'd be much worse for Tatooine in particular. Oh, I know, right, Dr. Winter? Thanks for bathing the barracks in their blood. I appreciate it.
Garrus Palid, inventor, artist, and general mischief maker, at your service. You look like a woman of taste. Perhaps you're interested in my sonic earwax removal system. Oh, or this shiny globe. It will stay with you wherever you go.
Get out of my way.
All right. All right. Look, I'm not really a junk salesman. It's just my cover. I'm from Imperial Intelligence's Experimental Weapons Division. Supposed to trick hapless fools into testing a new weapon. But you're not hapless fools.
I'm Sith. I am the Empire's greatest weapon.
I won't deny that. But the rest of us could use some help. That's what my division's for. This is the Sand People deployment device, designed to send a signal that stirs up Sand People against the enemies of the Empire. I need someone to plant this device over at these farmland coordinates. It's the perfect test site, abandoned but covered in wildlife for the Sand People to attack.
I suppose I could give it a look.
The device should have a range of 2 kilometers. There are Sand People settlements all over this area, so it should be plenty. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Oh, okay, that's a heroic. Is this a heroic? Please be heroic. Please. Oh, thank God, it's a heroic quest. Whew. Okay, I'm going to take a quick AFK and refresh my liquids, and I will be right back. Okay. Sorry for that. Oops. I apparently have a quest right here. Oh no, that's... Nope, that is right here. Who's Riken Goral?
You okay?
Take a breath. Your news can wait that long.
But sir, Warrisman Ordo is dead. We followed him and saw... It was because of the poison. The Sand People got him.
Then he is not the best. This trial is for the best of men. That is what Warrisman Ordo came to Tatooine to prove. Do not mourn for him. The only true death is to fear to try. Like the Imperial puppets who let politics dictate their lives.
I have a pretty low tolerance for insults.
Your reputations are well known. The Empire gives you a great deal of respect. Not that I give a bantha's backside what the Empire thinks. They've backed out of a perfectly good war to hide behind a piece of paper. If you want to change my mind, you're welcome to try.
I never sign on until I've read the fine print.
The Sand People produce a lethal poison. The only antidote is kept in their holy shrines, guarded by a sacred number
this already sounds stupid.
Gods. To prove yourself, you will take the poison voluntarily, and then fight your way to the antidote
before you succumb. It was this which killed Warisman Ordo, and many others who were called hero on different worlds. Will you take the poison?
I've survived worse.
More guts than I'd have wagered. Here it is, then. You've got the time it takes the poison to travel from your arm to your brain. By then, you'd better have the antidote in hand. Sand people are all over the place. Finding their shrines will not be the hard part. Surviving long enough to reach them will.
No. It's cool. It's cool. We'll just get poison. Oh, God. Our pride is on the line, okay? Pride. Pride. Turbo pride. I agree with Orkana, though. There's way too many damn quests here. So, this is a good time to mention, we've done 2 planetary bonus series, and so far, while they've been better than the Republic's, they're still net negatives. So, we're staring at that question again of, do you want to just start taking this back off camera with the bonus series, which we can do. That's an available option.
Not your time yet.
I'm looking forward to when they start producing content again in Guild Wars 2. I don't mean that it's a dig. I mean, I'm quite satisfied with it. I'm looking forward to the new stuff when it comes out. Whatever I prefer. Alright, we're done! Tour's done. We're done. We're cool. Now, remember, I'm doing the bonus series regardless. That's happening. I am too much of a professional to not do my job. The main benefit of doing it off camera is that it's less of a hassle to the people who are helping me. To be blunt. And that's a big benefit. That's a good point. You know what? I'm going to make Gigapudding and Orkano decide, because you're my 2 most consistent people. And we've got much worse bonus series coming up. Almost guaranteed. So, do you want to do bonus series? Yes or no? Go. Have I killed enough Morian to it? No. Listen, Giga, you can't finish the primary. You were sleeping. That's what that was. It was, the sand was in my eye. We are still in Act 1 and will be at the very earliest until late tonight. The odds that we'll finish Act 1 today are actually kind of low, because we've got a full planetary primary, secondaries, and a bonus series on top of another class quest to do. So, wouldn't expect much. We might make it. No, they're super boring. It's why I'm asking you guys. Like, I know that sounds strange, but being bored is my job, not yours. I appreciate your help a lot, but if you decide, you know what, Laura, I just don't want to deal with this nonsense, I don't blame you. And I'm just kind of trying to herp a little bit here. And yeah, they only get longer. Exactly, Malachor. This is starting to hurt. Where is Andronicos? Of course he's not here. Yep, I'm just gonna go over here for a second. Okay, is that done? Yes. That's done. That's the poison thing. Oh, crap. Probably Damashi. I don't know who the Bills are, but kill Bills! I mean, not really MPPY. I agree with the cartel more than I probably should. But then again, I've been saying for years that the Force users are the problem, so what the hell do I know? Or maybe the Force is the problem. So that's also a possible interpretation there. Okay. I mean, we all knew that was probably going to happen at some point, Giga. Or I was going to have to go heal. One of the two. More Force, more problems. So Latario asks, is the main reason the assassin protags are superhuman because they have a higher concentration of Isu DNA? To my knowledge, I'm going to put that proviso there, yes, that is the canon explanation. Oh, God. All the way through this nonsense? Jesus Christ. Alright, hang on. Ah! There we go. Okay, so that, don't care about that. Just this way. From a story... Oh, so here's a good question. From a story perspective, what should Blizzard do with the Sword of Sargeras? So I'm going to answer your second question first, because your second question is, could it be an expansion hook? Yeah. Yeah, you could easily do an entire expansion just on the Sword of Sargeras. Where is this? Oh, there it is. Is that up? Is that down? I remember hating this area when I did this bonus series last, and I'm starting to see why. That's gotta be up. That's gotta be up. Okay. Why are we not using stealth? Well, I actually do not have stealth, so that's the main reason I'm not using it. That's my excuse. The other reason is less valid. So. I did, J-Paul. Hey, Evo. Don't hate me, Evo. I mean, you can hate me. It's okay. I don't mind. Well, yeah, obviously, Latario. Even Bats is superhuman, and he wasn't, you know, genetically engineered or whatever. Okay, so where's the... Why can't I do this? Okay, hold on. What's going on out here? Hey, Alex. Okay, I'll be right back. But no, they kind of are Trihex, more dense at the very least. Let's do all these other quests first. No, it wasn't there. It's the first thing I checked. I do not have it there. So let's turn in some stuff, clear the board, and see what it thinks of that. Let's untrack both of these. Here. Nope, that's someone else's quest. Because of course it is. Because why would proper quest tracking design, minimap design, and overall design be in this goddamn game?
I'm really sorry about that, my lord. Those results were unexpected.
That wasn't so bad.
If it's any consolation, this test should allow me to put the finishing touches on the device. Take anything you want for your troubles. The good stuff, not that junk. Got some blasters, some armor, maybe even a lightsaber piece or two.
Well, that's because I was hoping to wait until I could use tone to mitigate text, Evo. Because I hate it. His expression looks terrible. I like the horns, I like the beard, I like the scraggliness, but he looks like your old grandfather who's about to tell you a story about World War II. Bale should come across as menacing.
Have I mentioned how honored I am to be working with the Sith? Oh, no matter. I've already called the Mos-Illa garrison. If you have the Gamorrean base codes, it won't be long before we can seize our new staging area.
I thought the diplomatic service solved problems through diplomacy.
Our methods are flexible. Isn't that how it should be? Soon we won't have to play friends with the Mandalorians, and we'll be in a position to bargain. It's been a privilege. Your part in this won't be forgotten.
There. Okay, so that's that, that's that. So it looks like all I need to do now is use the poison injector. Yeah, that darn whippersnapper Diablo, he stole my thing. Stole my cane! That was my cane. I liked that cane. I'm gonna take a nap now. That's because I keep making the same mistake, Eva, which is, of course, my fault. What is all this crap? Oh, those are my talents, aren't they? Yeah, okay. Anyways, assassin. Yes. There we go. So we want to switch up to here. But yeah, Bale should be the typical Type 4 villain. There's no humor. There's no sympathy. There's no decency. He is just straight destructive. He is a wrecking ball who runs over his enemies. He doesn't even enjoy doing it. He's just doing it. He should be glowering. And you're probably thinking, can you give me a picture to show this? No, because I've looked and I've never actually found one that works. So it sucks to be me, apparently. Excuse me. I'm gonna go inject some poison into my veins. Insert Twitter joke here. Best part, this is mandatory. This is part of the... What's timed? This is part of the bonus series. If I don't do this, I'm deadlocked. Get that going. Oh, gee. My abilities everywhere, didn't it? No, that's fair, Evo. That's fair. I am giving you contradictory things. So let's rewind this a bit. Why does Bale look like my grandfather? What's the reasoning behind that? Talk me through it. Okay. Administer the antidote. Done. Moving on. Because you found it funny. Okay, nope, that's valid. Do you want me to pull you off the project, Evo? I don't mind. I already feel like I'm asking too much of you. And, I already feel guilty as hell about the whole thing. Clothes? Nobody needs clothes. It's fine. It's fine.
Kandosi! Amazing! You live! My congratulations. You are more worthy than any Mandalorian in the last 5 galactic cycles. Speak of what you faced. Let these young ones hear the path of true valor.
Yes, please. What happened?
Well, let me tell you a terrible, horrible thing.
My vision became a black haze, but I still struck down all who came at me.
It sounds glorious. Master, I want to try the ordeal. I think I'm ready.
And he's
Do not
dead.
Compare yourself, lad. The training and endurance to face this test will take you many years. You can see your exploits will be a tale to inspire a generation.
Sure.
This is the weapon which marks your triumph. Use it in health.
Thanks, Duncan. That's actually an upgrade. Oh, probably because it's a dual saber. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Okay, so now what? Abandon this. Commander Vamas. Commander Jackass. Where is Commander Jackass? Hello, Commander Jackass. I did give you the script. Well, I gave you a portion of the script. I've actually also already given you character descriptions. But I will finish the script before I ask any more of you. Which kind of is what I wanted to do anyways. Someone decided to draw a bunch until her hand fell off. Now, I'm not pointing fingers or anything, because my hand fell off. What would I do with Jace's power if I had it? Probably nothing. I mean, that's neat and all, but ultimately not really all that useful. Especially not in real life, where we don't have the Force. There we go. Damn it, I just started the music again. Doc! I don't even know who you are. Doc!
Traveling openly here. I'm sure you can all watch each other's backs, but I don't want you heading out blind.
I will
The
stab
local
you.
exchange here are backed by someone with advanced stealth technology. They're using assassin droids to ambush our men.
Am I supposed to care?
We cannot let this rabble have a military advantage. This technology renders the droids invisible to the eye and to our instruments. You could be next to one and not know until it was too late. My science officer developed a way to counteract the technology, if we could just get close enough to use it.
And?
That sounds simple enough.
The droids have proven nearly impossible to fight while the stealth generator is working. To destroy them, you will have to disable their stealth generators with this visual descrambler. Any hidden droid should appear. Once they're dealt with, inspect the chassis to find the stealth transmitters. Our scientists will need to examine them.
Okay. Wrong way. Are you Commander? Nope, you're not even Commander Jackass. Oh my god. I hate this planet. I hate this planet so much. It's okay, there's worse.
I could interest a few of the Empire's finest in a genuine slaughter. There's a team of Republic archaeologists excavating the same ruins I'm here to research. My team attempted to run them off, but it's rather embarrassing. We were the ones sent packing.
Life does, in fact, go on.
We need to make a show of force. Make it clear that to steal from the Empire is to sign your own death warrant. Spill enough blood, and the Republic will be hard-pressed to find anyone crazy enough to replace them.
Violence is not always the answer.
If you say so, as long as we get that dig site back.
And yes, you pronounce it chassis. As it should be pronounced.
We're looking for an update on the situation out here, Commander.
My lord, one of the local warlords appears to have taken offense at Imperial troops moving through his territory. He's been turning his cannons on our men.
Sounds like a good opportunity for violence.
I'd advise caution. There's something off about this whole situation. The squad of mercenaries I sent to destroy the emplacements have failed to report back. Leaves me in a bind. I need someone to get in range of those cannons and mark them for assault.
Not without appropriate compensation.
None of you will go unappreciated once those cannons fall silent, but I can't spare any resources before then. Take this target designator. It'll allow you to call in pinpoint strikes on the cannon's positions. Give them a taste of Imperial firepower.
Meanwhile, in the background, gong, gong. That is the appropriate level of seriousness that should be present here, I think. Okay. I'm sorry, that guy's name is Captain Reskin. That's not me making a joke. It's literally Captain R-E-S-K-I-N. His name is Captain Reskin. It's music that's probably about to get interrupted, but that's okay. Because it's time for a bloodbath. Murder and mayhem await. Darth Puppies. Oh, sorry. God damn it. You know what? No. No. I refuse to talk to that person. That person can suck a lemon. Okay, fine. I'll talk to you. What? I'm leaving the music on. And you can suck it.
But here they are.
In fact, this is what I'm going to do here. I don't care. I don't care. Die. Die in a fire. Stop existing.
Then you weren't. They use.
No, I wasn't sent by high command. I don't give a crap about the exchange. Piss off! I hope they like lemons. Lemons are awesome. I've got 2 in my fridge right now because I can't figure out what to do with them. And I bought them because I thought maybe I could use their shavings to add to something, but the sauce tasted too much like peaches. So I couldn't add the lemons. So there's just lemons now.
Let's get it done.
Yes! Okay, I'll go loot the thing. Let's go! God damn it! The peaches turned out good at least. That was nice. God damn! There are so... Okay. The bonus series for the last 2 planets was at least only a few negatives, but they just keep shotgunning us. Giga keeps shotgunning us with quests. Why are there so many quests on this goddamn planet? And they just keep coming. This is Lotro all over again. Here, die! Oh, I'm playing the wrong class. Hang on. Let me go back to how do I change class? There we go. This thing. We're gonna go up to being this one. Activate. There we go. Now die in a fire of madness. Literally, I want your brains to melt out your ears physically. I want them to sizzle on the sands of Tatooine. Why can't I use this thing? Why does this quest exist? Get out of my log. Thank you for sharing the quest. Why can't I use this stupid thing? I just got the stupid sabotage. I can't sabotage it. Why can't I sabotage it? Why do I have to use this manually? I don't have to use this manually. Am I waiting for a freaking respawn? Is that what's happening? Oh my god! Yeah. Okay. We're just... I had to get left in shots of it. I think I am. I think I'm actually waiting on a freaking respawn. I think that's what's happening here. We're gonna give it a minute, or 2 or 3, or 8 or 15, because some of these are 5-minute respawns, because the designers of this game looked at EverQuest and said, hold my beer. That's not true. EverQuest is worse than this. But I don't think it's a respawn either. I think it's just bugged. I have the item. They're in my inventory. The quest objective says, sabotage the goddamn thing. I cannot interact with it. I can mouse over it. Giga got credit for it. Wait. Giga got credit for it? No, Giga's not doing it, right, because Giga can't. Right. They don't drink beer? Well, there's their problem! Clearly, if the designers of this game spent every evening chugging beer, just chugging it, until the freaking kegs ran dry, then maybe they might have had one tiny spark of a decent idea somewhere in that cavernous, vacuous hole that is their skull! What is this music? And why is it playing? This song is literally called Sand Palace. Why is this a song that exists? That's because the numbers you see on the screen, Warp Core, are for the Sith Inquisitor. Not the Sith, not the Republic, and not the game as a whole. Just the Sith Inquisitor. Oh my god, it was a respawn. It was a respawn. I was right. I was right. Because of course I was. God damn it. I'm actually more angry about that than I probably should be. It's because you stare at something and think, no, it's bad, and it's bad because of X or Y or Z. But you don't hope for that to be a thing. You don't want it to be bad. You just hope that you're wrong, that you're the one who screwed up, that you're the one who made the mistake. But no, it actually is that bad, and it's bad for that reason, because of course it is. And now we wait. We wait for a respawn. Thank you, Ciela. Very much appreciate the sub. Always appreciate the sub. If you want to put that towards something... Hang on, who did that go to? Who that went to? Went to Trihexia, looks like? Yeah, Trihexia. So Trihexia, if you want to put Ciela's sub towards something, please let me know. Hey, it even shares. Oh my god. You know, okay, real talk. I am actually shocked. I am shocked, sir. Let me show you how shocked I am. Hang on, let's really get this shockedness across here. That actually shared. I didn't think it was going to. That's why I clicked the last one, because I was concerned that it would not share. Win X Club, you got it. Discriminations. Yes, I have given in to the hatred side of the review. With each passing moment. Which MMO has the worst respawn mechanics? Look up J-Boots sometime in EverQuest. A lot of older MMOs and were based off of MUDs. Most MUDs had respawn timers of days. Now, you're probably thinking, hold on, I've played modern MMOs. There's a couple of super rare, mega, ultra rare mobs that have day-long respawns. Picture every quest item, every quest objective, every quest mob has days respawns. In some cases, weeks. That's a thing. Thank you, Ross. I'm sorry you lost to the Chiefs, whenever that was. Frickin' Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. God damn it. They didn't want people to play their game. You know? That's impossible. No. No, Malachor. Not the gonk. Gonk. What do you want to put that towards, Ross? Yeah, there's a reason for that freaking phrase. Sand before water. Oh, sorry. You can tell I'm paying attention. Breath of Fire 3, you got it. Put it towards EverQuest. No! Ah, that made my day. There's someone else asked me to put something towards EverQuest. Don't actually donate. I don't want any actual donates. No! Oh, that's so satisfying. Just saying no. Just straight up saying no. I will never play EverQuest again. The last time I went back to it was bad enough, and that was years ago. No. No. Oh. It's fine, Alex. It's fine. You want to know where these scars? You see, my EverQuest was a drinker. Even in the bottle. One day, he looks at me and says, "You just got the J-boots, Lar. Why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you smiling?" Let's put a smile on that face. Okay, done with that crap. What else we got? So, I'm sorry, I should probably say this on the off chance anybody doesn't know me. Granted, I like to vent every now and again. So, you know, it's nice to just vent every now and again. I am actually upset at this entire quest series because it sucks, and I will be giving it multiple negatives. However, that was not me being actually angry, because it's usually extremely obvious when I'm actually angry. And I'll go ahead and give you this little hint, okay? You ready for this? If I get actually upset, I go quiet. I just stop talking. That was just stretching. Hey, I got your goddamn quest.
The Exchange won't be spying on you again.
Probably untrue, but at least they won't be able to use the same tricks. Thank you all. According to the tracer you planted, it's Hutt's paying for information against us.
Oh my gosh! It's the Hutts!
I hope this covers any expenses.
Lore shock! There have been games that have actually made me angry, yeah, but generally speaking, if you see me lose my temper, that's actually different. I know that sounds like a strange distinction, but I mean it. Me losing my temper, that's completely different from me being actually angry. That is Giga shotgunning someone in the back for giving us a bad quest. Oh my god. Okay, I actually got stuck on the terrain there because the game really wants me to aggro those enemies. I hate this game. Hutts are on Tatooine. Can you believe it? Sorry. So, if you've heard me lose my temper, which unfortunately I have done on camera several times, that's me losing my temper. Oh wow, that hurts. Okay, well, I accept what's about to happen here. Whoa there! And dead. I thought head-on was cheap several times. And it actually irritated me quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie to you. On the gameplay axis, obviously. But I don't think I ever got actually angry at head-on. I'd have to really think about the last video game I got actually angry at. Yes, I did, Ross. Persona 5 actually angered me. Like, actually. Not just some temper lose. Because, yeah, the difference, I suppose the difference seems inconsequential, but internally, being angry versus losing my temper feels completely differently from each other. What is this? Is that a bonus? That's a goddamn bonus! Like, I lost my temper during GTA 4, for example. Now, I was doing a really terrible mission, and someone said something that set me off. See you around, Evo. And that just... And it's really hard for me when someone sets me off. That's my fault. I'm going to go ahead and admit that. It's something I've been working on since I was a literal child. But when someone says something that sets me off, that makes me lose my temper. That's when I snap or yell or, you know, whatever, right? But the thing is, in almost every case, I don't actually mean that, if that makes any sense. I'm not actually upset at, you know, Bob for pissing me off. I'm not actually, you know, whatever I say or whatever I mean there, I don't actually mean it. It's just, you know? It's just that moment of mental pain is what I want to call that. Like, you know what that feels like, right? Picture a really sharp stabbing pain, physical pain. And then picture that, except it's mental or emotional or however you want to process that. That's me losing my temper. When I'm angry, completely different vibe. Completely different direction. And again, when I'm angry, I mean it. I'm not, you know, I almost immediately regret any time I lose my temper. But if I'm actually angry, then I'm actually angry. And that's the distinction. That's why I want to keep that distinction so clear there. Because, you know, okay, looks like that's it. I think. It's hard to tell because this map is garbage. I can think of several times I've lost my temper. In fact, if I sat and thought about it for a second, I could probably recite to you every time I've lost my temper on camera. Because every single one of those is a mark of shame. Because I never mean it, and it's always something that I should be better than. I should not lose my temper like that.
The droids are out of commission.
And you have their transmitters? Excellent. Our scientists will begin reverse engineering them immediately. I appreciate your aid, my lord.
Wow, that was a worthless, dumb quest. Thanks for wasting my time. Have a gameplay negative. And yeah, I don't know if you remember, but when I found out that the first dentist was terrible, I just sort of stopped talking, like, if you recall. Because I was looking at the paperwork they gave me, and the realization was hitting me, and I just kind of went quiet, because, again, I was actually angry at how much of a nonsense that whole thing was. Waste of time and money, while trying to bilk me.
You called in quite a few strikes. Good news to report?
Those cannons won't trouble you again. The Mandalorian troops supporting your Warlord are another story.
Blast it. Too many Mandalorian clans to keep track of. Never did like them. Count on us to finish the rest. Without their guns to hide behind, those craven scum will crumble before us.
Yeah, that's Giga. And Malachor, specifically. Oh my god, I didn't kill a Republic archaeologist. Where was that? Where was that quest? Yeah, that's the group, Warp Core. Yeah, they actually upset me. And there's a reason I keep emphasizing that word. That's sure.
What are you saying? We lost a squad of very expensive Mandalorians, and now our boys can't do the trick either? Forget excuses. Work it out. I'm sorry. That's hardly the image I wanted to present to a group of the Empire's finest. The exchange is proving to be more difficult than we originally estimated.
What transpired here?
The exchange is using an old reclamation base as an ammo stockyard. We've taken 2 shots at it now, and we may have to cut our losses and retreat.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Does this mean you'll prove you can do better? I will give you the location for the ammo.
I think Arcana is about with me on Tatooine right now.
Last known coordinates for our squad.
Planet.
I suggest you look first for survivors.
Just screw this
Perhaps
planet.
they can give you some insight into why they failed.
On the plus side, very soon now, we're actually not too far off, very soon now, we will be permanently done with Tatooine. Everything at this point will just be the class stuff, which is substantially less aggravating. So is that? Nope, that's that. Is that it? That's it. That's what I was... Okay. I'm in combat. Of course I'm in combat. Tatooine. There we go. They really do, J. Palmer. This is WoW vanilla levels of questing, and that's why it's pissing me off so damn much. Now again, I'm not actually upset, because you've seen me actually upset, as we just discussed. But this still sucks. Okay, so where's the archaeologist? There. Maybe. Yep, nope, that is an archaeologist right there. Die, archaeologist! Yeah, take this for what it's worth. Skip the bonus series. Just skip the bonus series. God dang it. It is such drivel. You know what's funny? When I mentally remember all the bonus series that I hated, there's 2 that come to mind immediately. Can you think of what they are? The 2 planets. This is back when me and my friend were pushing through all this stuff. I've done all of them. Whoops, that's the heroic. I don't care about that. I'll go this way. Belsavis is correct. Corellia doesn't actually have a bonus series, believe it or not. But Belsavis is the other one. The Belsavis bonus series on the Empire. Oh my god, I cannot put into words how bad my memories of that are. I can't. I cannot explain it to you in words. I'm gonna have to, because it's my job, and we're gonna get there in the review. You know what's funny? If I might be so bold. Every MMO we've reviewed so far has run into this same problem. The scores have been drastically dragged down by the garbage content, which is invalid and optional.
Are you
All
part
3
of
of them.
Captain Tremont's team?
What? Who are you? Did the captain send you? Everyone else is dead. I don't know why they kept me alive. I think they're torture.
What transpired here?
We never got as far as the ammo stockyard. Ambushed. They stripped our gear. Explosives. In that locker. Please, finish the job.
It's my job, Alex, and I care about doing my job quite a bit. I don't know how to explain it past that. I'm a firm believer in due diligence. I'm a firm believer in not just assuming, you know. I could assume that all these quests are negatives, because they almost guaranteed will be. What, Giga? What? What am I looking at? Other than your amazing self. What's up? But it is my job to do this, and I will do my due diligence on the matter, even if I have to do it off camera. Oh my god, you do have a tricorder. Tor and STO. Cross them. I noticed the outfit earlier. I should have commented on it, but I think I was in the middle of of a rant at the time. But no, we're doing it one way or another. Well, I'm doing it one way or another. The only question is if I'm doing it on camera, which I mentioned earlier. I think, for the sake of everyone's sanity, I think we're going to go and take the bonus series off camera again. We already did that for the Republic. So, I think we're just going to commit to that. I'm probably going to go ahead and do those as a tank, too. Because Mage is not cutting it for bonus series content, which always hits substantially harder than any of the other content, because the people who made this game are monkeys. No, I don't mean like some... I mean, literally, they went out and they were like, alright, Ook Ook, I need you to program the Tatooine bonus series. Okay, perfect. Now, we need to decide what kind of damage output these enemies do. Can you do that, Ook Ook? And the monkey just did this on the keyboard for a minute, and that's the bonus series right there. Yep, that means I have to spend all my free time over the next several days, probably about a week or so, doing crap content. But that's okay, because that's my job. I'm not going to complain about doing my freaking job. I think that's the one I already saw has this, but let me see here. Let her load. Yep, I saw that one. Lol. There's another one. Oh, there's one. I will, however, say hi to Radisvik. Sorry I didn't say hi earlier. I saw you pop in. Can you, like, not be shooting me? Is that cool? Thank you, Radisvik, very much. Did anybody clip that, by the way? I'm just idly curious. Just randomly. AoEs, jeez Louise. Oh god, they're still spawning. They're still spawning. That's even worse, Rama, is the idea that the humans are like, alright, monkeys. Cigar. Hang on, where's my pen? Alright, so I got a mission for you, monkeys. I'm gonna need you to make this content as terrible as possible. But we don't want to just make bad content, no. We are committed. We here at BioWare are committed to making the most horrible content imaginable. We will do our due diligence. We will do everything in our power to mathematically and fundamentally showcase just... Why do they keep spawning? Showcase just how terrible this content really is. We will bring in trained psychiatrists and mathematicians and statisticians to try and perfect just how terrible this content is. And those are the designers of Anthem, because this game is nowhere near as bad as Anthem. But, speaking as one of the 5 people in the world who've actually beaten Anthem, I can tell you that game is total garbage. Top to bottom.
Is it done? Please, turn this off. Let me go home.
Okay. Why wouldn't I? Sure.
Get back to Mos Illa. Find a medic.
Thank you.
You know the great irony? Because we can't... won't? Because the Anthem review is out of date, I can't tell you in numbers how bad Anthem is compared to this stuff. Just trust me when I say it'd be bad, yo. Is that everything? That's everything. Okay, now we return again. Yeah, exactly, Arcano. We here at BioWare are committed to making our bonus series as terrible as possible. This is a mission.
The exchange ammo dump is destroyed.
Yes, I have received numerous reports of the destruction of the exchange's stockyards. including from an injured soldier who gave sole credit to you. You have my thanks. Our hold on Tatooine will be more secure with the exchange disarmed.
Wow, that was a worthwhile waste of my time. I'm sure grateful for the fact that I hate you. Is that? It is. It's even better than my current one. Time to not use a lightsaber again. Oh, never mind. We got a cosmetic. Never mind. We're cool. We're cool. Don't worry. I'll never play Anthem again.
Your dig site is clear.
Marvelous. I'll start gathering my team before any carrion eaters start taking root. The Reclamation Service owes you its esteemed gratitude.
Okay. So now, let's get rid of that. Okay, I think we're done. I think we did it. I think that's the turn in. Yes, thank the Maker. Alright, who's ready to be done with Tatooine forever? To never do... Like, I keep saying that. Obviously, we're going to do class quests and sometimes, you know, primary quests come back here, but we're done with Tatooine. On both the Republic and the Horde, I mean, the Sith, we'll never have to... The Horde. We'll never have to do the Tatooine primary, or the secondaries, or the bonus series, ever again. And Giga Pudding, whatever she... No! 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 Oh, nope, that's the final turn. We're okay, we're okay. What, Giga? What? Okay, never mind. Giga was giving me a heart attack. We're okay. We're okay. Everything's okay.
My lord, Moff Yorian wants to see you.
My heroes.
Hi.
Mandalorians have fallen into place. The Sand People tribes are scattered. It's a new dawn for Tatooine. Troops and supplies will move freely under mercenary protection. Our garrison will purge, exchange corruption, and act as a beacon of stability.
This isn't the first planet I've handed to the Empire.
But it's the first time you brought civilization to these barbaric reaches of the galaxy. Of course, we've already begun raiding exchange bases to take advantage of their vulnerability. We've seized credit chips, antiquities, spice, to be stored in my personal vaults until they can be processed by Imperial authorities.
Shouldn't seized credits go to the Empire instead of your personal accounts?
I'm only holding them temporarily. You're missing the point. I'm telling you because I want to share with my friends. Walk away from Tatooine with pockets full and remember my aid.
No. You corrupt idiot.
Tatooine is yours, thanks to me. It's only right we both reap the rewards.
There was never any doubt. You'll find your ship refueled and rearmed with my compliments. I look forward to seeing your mark on other worlds.
Uplink to the Minister is ready for you, sir.
I wish you well in your travels. Do return someday.
We've actually talked about that, Zeiss, but I imagine you weren't there for that because that was during the lore run. Yeah, I know, right, Alex? There's no nothing here. It's just... And we did it! We're done! We're done with Tatooine. It's done and gone. Oh, our current alignment is plus 1720. So we're pretty close to light 2. And you're probably thinking, but you're playing evil. Yes, I am. So. Wait, hang on. What's Giga doing? What's going on over here? Where's my Star Trek character? I need to bender all this crap. I mean, I keep saying it, and it keeps not being a joke. We're playing consistently, intelligently evil. We've gotten a few dark side points, but almost all the evil choices so far have been definitively light side. I think I just sold the wrong thing. Hang on. Is that it? Nope. That's also not it. Oh, whatever.
Appreciate your business.
Okay. So, if you have been paying attention, we streamed about 20 minutes into my lunch break. So I'm going to take a short lunch in order to try and get on with it. When we come back, we're going to go to Alderaan. And another terrible bonus series.